All right, innovators, thank you for being here right on time. We will be starting class in about 3 minutes. I wanted to take a moment and say welcome to some of you amazing faces. Karis, welcome in here. Starboss, great to see you. Britta, Smoke, Lucia, Jeff, Cyril, Elude, Sarah, Alisher, and of course, Ross over at the Tech and Schools. Nick, if you're in the background, good to see you as well. Guys, go ahead, like and retweet the room. If you have a friend they're not in here, tag them. We're going to be starting in the next couple of minutes. And great to see everybody. Hang tight. We'll start soon. Thing. Welcome back into initiative. We are on week number 5 of building our WordPress site from idea to impact. We are only 2 sessions away from wrapping this up. I know a lot of you have made a lot of headway, have learned a lot of great things, are integrating those into your builds, and I'm very, very proud of you and great to see that. Great job to each and every one of you who are here on time to kick off the 5th week of this Idea to Impact series. Dan, Kathleen, Karis, Breda, Artie, Smoke, Lucia, Jeff, Cyril, Rutro, and Core. Look, we have enough that I can just go ahead and mention. Guys, thank you for being here and on time. If you're missing a dear friend, Starboss, always good to see you as well. If you're missing a friend, please do yourself and them a favor. Send them the space, tag them real quick. Being live and in person is so much better. If they have that question, that could be that silver bullet that can give an answer to so many people. It is fantastic to have other folks in this room. I want to take a moment and just shout out to our partners and sponsors alike. Big shout out to the Tech and Schools Initiative, and amongst them, DigitalOcean, WordPress, cPanel, Divi Theme, Immunify 360. each and every one of you who are, making this possible, this Idea to Impact series led by the Tech in Schools Initiative. We thank you guys for each and every item that you've given to these innovators, whether they're here live or listening to the replays and making it happen in the evenings. It doesn't go unnoticed what you guys are doing. And to the Tech in Schools and Sarah, who are here live pioneering the learning, very, very well done to you guys. This is now 4 full weeks, and now we're on week 5 of making this happen. And none of it would be possible without people like Sarah in the room, who serve as leaders for innovators, supporters, and educators. Again, the godmother of the ITT in so many ways. So just want to thank her for being in the room. Alisher, Nick, Ross, what you guys are doing for this Idea to Impact series, and what you've put on here is beyond us. We absolutely love it. I want to invite anybody in the room who has not already to come to ITT number 58 this weekend and pitch what you're building your WordPress site for. Is it a business? Is it just you as a person? I think far too often in the think tank, we forget that 60-second pitches is not just for completed business. If you are somebody who has great skills and is looking to find a co-founder or collaborators, or looking for your next position in maybe a startup that is happening right here in the think tank, use 60-second pitches just like the way you're using your WordPress site, maybe personally, to pitch as such. So I want to invite people to do that this weekend on ITT number 58. You guys know where to apply, or you can reach out to Cash Money Mattia or myself. There's 2 things that we need. Let's go ahead and get into week number 5 of this Idea to Impact series. Our WordPress sites are slowly coming to life, but beautifully. There's 2 things that you need in front of you, as always, is the X space. That is, if you want to talk with any of the people up on stage, ask a question, you're going to want the X space open. However, you can also be on the Innovators Think Tank website or one of the streaming platforms that we are coming to you live on, and you will get all of this audio. Please feel free to put anything in the comment section, any questions, any fiascos, any problems that you're having. Our team will be looking through all those to be sure it gets over to Sarah, Ross, Nick, and Alisher along the way. So folks, thank you for joining us. That is, a couple notes from me, but without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I want to give it over to Sarah first for any notes for innovators as we begin week number 5 of taking Ideas to Impact. And there's no stopping us now. No way. But Sarah, thank you for being here. I hope the day is going beautiful for you. Always great to see your profile picture in here. We'll give you the mic to share some notes with innovators. We'll let Ross, Nick, and Alisher get ready to rock and roll, and let's do this thing.
It's supposed to say, what time is it? It's showtime. 5 weeks. Holy smokes. I'm really proud of the folks that show up today. I have gotten a number of DMs. We understand that today is a sacred holiday for many people. Juneteenth is a very special day in the United States for a huge majority of our population. And so if you are celebrating with your families, with your however it is that you do, it's okay. We have Thursday morning where you can come and catch up. So we encourage folks to be with their families, to be with their loved ones, and to celebrate in the moment, right? Yes, we all want everybody to be here in class, obviously, tonight, but it is one of those things that one of our core values is definitely family. So I'm appreciative for all of the wonderful messages behind the scene. Just know that your pocket family is thinking of you this evening, and that we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So for those that are in class tonight, make sure that you're logged in appropriately. I do know that a couple of you've had trouble with Stripe. That's okay. Just take a deep breath. We'll figure it out when we hook up your sites to your payment processing of the availability in whatever way that is. I know PayPal, I think, is also an alternative, but we shall see. Please pull out your notebooks. Old-fashioned analog helps in ways that you cannot imagine. For me personally, I do take screenshots of our class as it streams, and then I do print them out later so that I can have them in a binder. It's easier for me to convey and digest the information afterwards and try to understand the whys, not W-I-S-E, but W-H-Y apostrophe S, or the whys, and things that we're doing, so I can kind of follow those breadcrumbs back later we all learn differently. So make sure you have your notebook, definitely something to drink, whether it's old fashioned water, iced tea, sweet tea, um, whatever you're fancy, depending on what time of the day it is. We do appreciate folks that are from the future dwellers on the other side of the pond, specifically Britta. I know that is definitely very late for her. Dave Meir, when he shows up too. Thank you for being here tonight. So without much fanfare or further ado, we're going to start this evening. Make sure that if you aren't totally caught up, you can always go back. And I know that Kathleen had posted in the Slack channel, which is one other little reminder. If you're not in the Slack channel, you're missing a huge part of class. Point blank. Most of everything, your answers, your questions get answered there. Your digital backpack gets filled there with all the trinkets and trash and behind the scenes. It is there specifically for a reason. We have $600 or more of digital things in our backpacks, and it can't go on the mainstream, whether it's on X or just putting those links out there. We have to be very cognizant of who gets them and who's using them. And, this is run just like the classrooms that Nick Alisher and Ross run in the New York public school systems. So we have lots of checks and balances and things behind the scenes to make sure that A, people are safe, B, people get the things that they need, but more so also that while you're here in our care in this digital classroom, that you're taken care of and that we can help in whatever way possible. If you need something, obviously, we've been here for 5 weeks, so you know the drill. Come up, come up to the speaker box. If you can't speak, that's okay. Just tag us, bag us, send up signal flares so that we can see you. Otherwise, like what I always say, have fun, share your stuff, play nice, don't die. Ross, take it away.
I'll start us off for now, and then Ross will come in. So, guys, we are at week 5, and I think what's important is maybe to have a little bit of a review of what we actually did week 1 through 4. We're going to take some questions, and then we're going to dive into what we have planned for today for you guys. So, what do we actually do in the last 5 weeks? Well, we started by launching our WordPresses on cPanel. So all of us have a cPanel account where we go in and log into our cPanels, where we're able to manage all sorts of different aspects of the server. And for most of us, what we want to do is, make a WordPress using Installatron applications. Very useful because it's a one-click installer, and immediately we're going to have this empty WordPress website with Divi, with all the plugins that we need to get started. Now, as we went along with week 2, 3, and 4, we actually started to edit our WordPress websites. So for the most part, we didn't really spend the time in cPanel, but instead, we used the cPanel and Installatron as a pathway to get to WordPress. Now, once we got into our WordPresses, we started editing the WordPress websites. And if you guys are watching the stream, I'm also logging into my account and going to my WordPress website. Well, we found out that Divi is a very visual builder, and it provides us with some interesting preset layout options that make it quite easy to get started. Right? Immediately, we can select the layout, and each layout is going to have several different options inside for different pages. So each layout is essentially a full-blown website of its own. If you guys are watching the stream, I'm just going to quickly create a page so you guys can see how to get to the layouts page. In the last 4 weeks, or actually in the last week, I saw a lot of questions about, how do you create a page and how do you get to the point where you can get to these pre-made layouts? Because once you have a page created and you have a layout in here, this no longer appears. So this really only appears for brand new pages. And then you want to choose a pre-made layout. And these are going to have all sorts of different pages inside that we can use. This is essentially what will determine what the rest of our website will look like. So let's start with, well, I'm going to start with any of these basic layouts. I'm just going to go to, let's say, Fashion Stylist. And in here, you guys are going to notice there's 7 layouts in this pack, and each one of these is a page of its own. So you want to take a mental note of what this layout is called. In this case, it's called Fashion Stylist. And then I'm going to create pages. And let's say if I need an about page, then I can use an about page from this layout pack. So all of my design and styling kind of remains coherent and unified instead of being jumbled up if we were to use a different layout pack. So just keep that in mind. This is how we started. This is how we made our first page. And I'm going to use this landing page. And it takes a minute or so to import. And from there, in week 3 and week 4, we really went hard on editing these websites and these pages. Now, editing in Divi, you have 2 options. You can use this visual builder, where you can click on each individual component, each individual piece of text, each image, and edit it, or you can use the block builder. And then you can edit it by using these blocks instead. Depending on what you prefer, you might choose one over the other. I personally stick with the visual builder. I want to see what I'm editing. And in this case, Divi, it's pretty easy to edit. If you want to edit the text, you can just go to the text and click on it several times to select it and just start typing. Right, this is one of the beauties of Divi, is that if you want to edit something, you can just go to it, you can click on it, you can click on the little module settings if it's a module that's not text. And they're all going to pretty much have these unified settings with the exception of a few things. So in this case, I can change the image. If it was something like a button, I can probably change the link and what the button says. But for the rest of it, it's going to have pretty much the same options for each module. Now, once I make my changes, well, you always want to save. And actually, it looks like Divi just auto-saved for me. Cool. So I'm going to publish. This is brand new page. And that's going to save for me. Awesome. Well, a big question we got at this point is, how do I edit the title of this page? Because if we notice, well, this page will say no title. And I think after week 1 and week 2, a lot of us had pages that said no title. There's a few ways to do it. There is a main settings button on the bottom. It's the purple page settings button. And that's going to have a title that we can set. This is the easiest way to do it right out of the Divi builder. So I'm going to call this landing page. If your page has no title, well, this is how you would set the title. Again, on the bottom, you have this purple button, the purple gear called page settings. And in there, you'll get an option for the title. You can also set a featured image. Sometimes when you're sharing your website, it also shares an image with your website link. That might be affected, and an excerpt, which is like a description of your page. Great for SEO, which we're going to get to later as well. But if your question was, in the last few weeks, how do I set the title because I have so many no title pages? Well, again, straight from Divi, as you're editing your page, you can just go to page settings on the bottom, the purple gear, and there's a title option. Awesome. And now I'm going to make sure that I save again. You can never save too many times. If you have an option to save, always save. You never want to lose progress. Now, for the most part, when we're editing these pages, we can operate out of the visual builder, right? We can enter and exit the visual builder based on the page. Let's say I wanted to go to this homepage. I can just navigate from my menu. And at the very top, I have this admin tab where I can enable a visual builder. If I want to edit a page or add a page, I can do that from here as well. But for the most part, as we're editing these mostly visual parts of the website, you can remain in this front end of the website instead of having to go to the dashboard. We only really need to go to the dashboard if we're adding plugins, if we're doing something a little bit more technical, or if we're editing some global settings that will affect all pages. Now, this is what we did for the most part in weeks 2 and 3. We built out our pages. We want several pages, right? If you have a landing page that's different sections, you want to have sections that are clear that you can then use in the menu. But most of us will have several pages, and hopefully those pages are unified by this this one layout. Now, in week 4, we learned about editing different global options. So one of the global options is, of course, this header, this logo, and another global option is, of course, the footer that you guys see appear on your page. Let's see what the footer is on this page. I just have the basic WordPress footer. Cool. So how do we edit these global options? Well, this is where we have to go to the dashboard. Right, I'm going to navigate to the dashboard from the top left of the page. And then from here, I have Divi and theme options. And this is where we're going to find all of our global settings related to Divi, such as the logo. This is where you'll be able to edit the header, the footer. So let's start with theme options. And the first thing we edited in week 4 was our logo. So the first option in theme options is, of course, the logo. And here, you can upload whatever logo you might have. Doesn't really look like I have any logos in here, so let's see if I have a TSI or an AI Tutor logo somewhere. Perfect. Just gonna throw that in. WordPress, very easy to manage all the media you upload. And immediately you can insert it. And again, make sure you save. So whenever you make a change here in theme options, make sure you click save, and then you'll be able to see those changes directly on the page. So in this case, the logo, the Divi logo, was right here in the top left. And once you change it in theme options, it's going to change there as well. Now, this whole navigation bar is actually auto-built by WordPress. So the way we're going to edit the menu is just another section in the dashboard. Right? That's really the second thing we edited, is the menu. Now, to find the menu, it's going to be in Appearance Menus in our dashboard. That's another global option that a lot of you have asked questions about in the last week. And editing menus, if you don't have a custom header, custom global header, then you can find it in Appearance Menus. Well, actually, this is a menu that even if you have a custom header, you'll still need to edit. And from here, it's pretty easy, right? This is just a menu builder where you can select which pages get included in the menu. So check this out. You can click View All, and if you have 6, 7 pages, you can select which one of them can be included. So here I'm going to add the landing page that I just built, add to menu, and immediately it appears here. Now, this is a bit of a drag and drop builder. So what you can do is, if I want this landing page to be the first thing on the menu, I'm just going to drag it to the top. If I want to nest some things within each other, like let's say TSI website inside of AI Tutor inside of TSI website, and so is Pixio, I can do that as well. So it's going to correspond to a drop down. If I want to add things to the menu that aren't a page on my website, but just an external link, I can do that with custom links. And as we found out last week, I think during the review, you can also call different sections on the page. So for example, my homepage here has 3 sections, Home, About, and Testimonials. Well, I can call them by using custom links and just using #home, which is the ID that we set. Now, that's pretty much what we did in terms of editing these global settings. One thing we also covered is making your custom settings. And again, guys, don't forget to save. So if I want these changes to appear live on my website, I'll make sure I click that save button. Another thing that we covered in terms of Visual Builder and Divi is inside of Divi, there's Theme Builder, which allows you to completely rebuild the header. So let's say I don't like my current header with just the logo and the links for the menu. Let's say I want to do something else to my header, like have some social links here, have some sort of a scroll bar of running just text that says something, have something extra in my header. Well, then we're going to have to create a custom header because this will no longer suffice. Well, we can do that inside of Divi Theme Builder, which allows us to create global header and global footer. Because if you look at my footer right now, it's kind of not really related. It's a very basic WordPress footer that's just different article links and categories for posts. Instead, I want something like this. A footer that has links to the things on my page, that maybe has a newsletter, that maybe has some social links instead of the archive. Well, that's when I can use this global footer, and I can click Add Global Footer, which will create an empty Divi component, essentially. If we check this out, this just takes us to the Divi builder. And at this point, we can do anything. Right? You can build out this footer however you want. Just don't forget to click Save if you want to use the global footer. And don't forget to save the options here in a theme builder. And again, if you want to disable, it's fairly easy to disable. You can either delete it or click the side to make it disappear. So this is another thing I saw people have questions about. Now, this is what we mainly covered. We also covered a big plugin, which is Ecwid. Ecwid is how we get started with our store. And again, this is going to be from plugins. This was probably the first plugin that we installed that we actually spent the time setting up. So it was called ECWID, Ecwid. And what that allows you to do is have a store and not really have to worry about creating all these other pages like my account, user sign up, each individual product page. Instead, Ecwid just allows us to bring in our store from their builder. And it automatically creates all those pages for us. It automatically creates account management, people being able to view their orders. It automatically processes payments for us using Stripe. So it takes care of all of our store needs without us having to spend the time to actually set up that whole system in WordPress. It's actually a neat solution that just requires a few clicks. And this will create a page on your website called Store. So watch out for that. You can go into Pages. You can look for this page. And some of the things we're able to edit is how these product cards look and how each individual product looks. And for the rest of it, it actually takes the theme of your website. So for the most part, I think the theme of my website is just very plain, very minimalistic. So it just takes those colors. Now, these are the things we did from week 1 until now. We set up our WordPress inside of cPanel. And then from week 2 to week 4, we exclusively worked inside of WordPress. We set up our global settings. Some of us set up global headers that are custom. Some of us did not. We set up our global footers. We have made pages. We have set up our stores with Ecwid. And this brings us to today, but we're actually going to be adding our custom domains. We're going to be setting up the SEO and putting a lot of the finishing touches on our website. So guys, I think we're going to take the next few minutes. We're going to take some questions about the things we did from week 1 to week 4. So that was kind of our review. Hopefully that reminds you of the things we did. And awesome. I see a hand up. What's up, Dan?
Hey, so this is not a question, but more of an epiphany / revelation. One of the things that really helped me work a lot faster was mashing up the visual builder with the layer icon engaged. So if you look at the bottom right, next to the save button, you've got the question mark, and then to the left of that is the layer button. And when you have that toggled on, you can see all the layers. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, where you can see like the wireframe version along with the visual builder. So the problem it solved was I kept having all these different icon layers and they got buried by things. So that was a really nice solution. Just wanted to mention that in case anybody is having that frustration with things getting piled on top of each other.
Yeah, guys. So layer button, it is right next to the save button. It looks like a few sheets of paper on top of each other. Dan's absolutely right. This is another great visual way for you to kind of navigate yourself on a page. Again, the layer button, whenever you're editing, right on the bottom, right next to the save button. Thank you, Dan, for that.
Alisher, I do believe that Artie has a question, if you can hear me okay. I wanted to make sure my mic worked also. Excellent. Very good. Artie, go ahead, hon.
Hey, Alisher. So my question involves when we start to transfer things over, like you have a bunch of images that you're using and stuff like that, and the images are tied to a link, which is basically set on the page. And that's what pulls the image up. When you actually transfer stuff, how does that work? How does everything stay in place, or do you have to like re-upload images and things like that?
I would recommend. So you're transferring from a different website, right?
Yeah. So like if I build it here and then transfer it to, I'm on HostGator with my
okay.
other
So
website.
we're gonna cover that next week. We're actually gonna show you guys how to transfer it. But if you want to do it right now, it is all-in-one migration tool. So it's a plugin that we give you. It comes pre-installed. It's called All-in-One WP Migration. It's in the dashboard, and you can just export, and it will export a carbon copy of your website. And then you're gonna import it into a fresh WordPress, and it will override everything, including the users.
Okay, and then for that, because we have Divi on this server, but we might not have Divi on the server that we're transferring to.
They'll come with a migration.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think most of your website should be relatively light, so you might not need the premium plugin. But if you need the premium plugin, we can help you out with that, guys, as well. This already comes with a premium plugin, but of course, when you launch a new WordPress, it's not going to have it just yet until you migrate. That migration is going to bring in everything, all the plugins, all the pages, all the images. It's a carbon copy of your website. And before you transfer, if you plan on doing it in like the next week, before we end in week 6, I highly recommend you make a user on this WordPress before you transfer, because the current user made there is a user made by Installatron. So you might not exactly know the password, because Installatron automatically logs you in, doesn't log you in using a password. But yeah, all-in-one. It's a free plugin. If you need premium, just DM either me or Ross, and we'll set you up with that.
The other thing too is remember that Thursday morning we do have a recap. So if you're working on this late at night, because I know a handful of you, that's what you do, is after class you proceed to pull an all-nighter and try to work on stuff. If you hit snags, tomorrow morning is when you can rehash it. But that little bit about the username especially is something that you want to tag. So you look at, we started this space at 7:30 or at 7 o'clock. So about a half hour in is that little piece of the puzzle that you're going to want to mark down. I do that in my own notes when Nick, Alisher, or Ross says something that's really important that I know I'm going to need sometime in the future. I'll mark down the a stamp, and then also a little note to myself, because I know personally I'm going to need to revisit that later when I migrate my website. So I'm not seeing any other questions or comments, concerns that we normally do. I know that we have a light crew today. Like I said, many people are celebrating and taking family day off. But if you needed anything, just pop up, and otherwise, Alisher's going to continue.
Just give us a minute. We're switching computers on stream now. Guys, what we're gonna do today is let's do a quick show of hands. How many, or show of hands, or any emoji? How many of how many of you will most likely buy your own domain by the end of today if it's like $1 or $5? How? Oh, okay. So
Wait,
now,
Alisher, before you continue, Jeff has come up and he does have a question, so it might fit into what you're thinking about. And I also see that Smoke has got all of the emojis up. So go ahead, Jeff, ask your question, love.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process right now trying to talk to the guys over at Namecheap or whatever it is, because I didn't realize I needed to have a domain set up, but I just happen to have enough money that I can go in here and do it. Only their system's locked and fouled up, and now I can't get the domain that I came up with, and it won't let me do the checkout. So trying to get through that, but I'm just not sure what to do here. What are you going to read with me?
well, we're gonna go through domains, and how to get a domain. If you need a domain, there's a few options that you have, and we're also gonna look at some domains that are cheap, right? Because ultimately, what determines the price of the domain is, of course, the domain name and the TLDR. Yeah, you guys are gonna see that some domains are much cheaper. Some of them are just like 99 cents. And maybe that's the domain you're gonna go for. And there's also not just one domain registrar. There's a few that we're gonna look at.
Alisher, real quick, Kathleen has her hand up, love. Go ahead, Kathleen.
I hit the mic and I didn't get the voice thing. The question I had is I've owned like 3 different domains for several years, so I've been paying for it, GoDaddy, and not use them at all. So would we be able to transfer our domains and then not pay them because I can't stand them?
You don't really need to transfer a domain, but you will learn how to point the domain. We are going to use GoDaddy specifically, actually. That's the one we use the most. And we're going to show you how to point your domain to your WordPress website. And how to get it secured as well.
We couldn't get rid of like paying them is what I'm asking.
I mean, you can go to any of the providers and pay anybody, but GoDaddy is the one we use the most.
Kathleen, you can transfer your names to another like hosting, that there are a number of them. The reason why GoDaddy is the way it is, not only are they, it's tough. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of domain names there. It's very sticky in terms of when you transfer them over, there's that limbo period and you don't want to lose your domain. That's the hardest part of it, but you can transfer it to another holder of your name, and then you would continue to pay your fees for the ICANN registration. That's basically what you're paying for. You're leasing a name. But yeah, you're going to be rerouting and pointing your name to your website. It's kind of goofy, but I know what you're asking, and I'm winking and nodding at you. I totally get it. But,
Okay,
you know, it
because
is
I
what it
thought
is.
maybe we would transfer to DigitalOcean and have it hosted there because I don't understand any of this stuff. So that's what I was asking.
Domain names are a little bit different. When you have ICANN, it's like a giant registry of all of those names. You're kind of
Domain names are a little
having
bit different.
it
When you have
hosted.
ICANN, it's like
It's not like a digital
giant
ocean. I think
registry of
Nick
all of
and
those
Alisher and
names. You're
Ross can
kind
better
of
explain it than I
having
can.
it when
But
you have
when you're
ICANN,
when you
it's
have a
like
domain
it's not
name,
like a
you own
digital
that
ocean. I
property,
think
yes, but you're
Nick
basically
and
leasing it.
Alisher
And
Ross can better
DigitalOcean,
explain it than
you
I
know, is
can.
a platform.
But
And what we're
when
basically
you
doing
have
when
a
you set up a
domain name, you
website
own that
is,
property.
let's
Yes,
say
but
my website is on Squarespace, which it is, right? My one that I can't touch because it's now grandfathered out because it's 25 years old. And it's kind of a laughing joke amongst my friends and I because no one can get into it. But at the same time, it's a novelty, right? Well, with Squarespace, I have my domain name that I own and I change the routing basically. And so it will point to wherever I tell it to point. But ultimately, GoDaddy is householding that name and making sure that I'm on top of my registration and that in the archive or the register for the, I don't know what ICANN stands for, but it's an international something like that name directory. And you know, you have to have one of those. It's just like if you had like a professional license, like I was a broker, I couldn't just practice, you know, being a financial advisor. I had to have, you know, a house actually hold my license. So at whether it was Morgan Stanley or, you know, whatever, Schwab, they had to household my license and take ownership of it. So it's kind of like a custodian. But I'm not sure how the boys are going to do it tonight. So I will just follow along, and if I can help by not muddying the waters at all, I'll try to. But hopefully they'll clear it up for you.
Are you talking about, this is Ross, by the way, are you talking about domains?
Yeah. Okay. So Kathleen and I, let's say we don't like the company that's holding our domains, but she wants to know why DigitalOcean can't just keep her domain name for her.
They just don't do that. That's not what they're in business for.
So I think you can add domains, but they can't be a like a,
But you'll still end up paying
yeah,
GoDaddy to actually
like you
lease that
have
domain.
to, you can take your domain from like a, let's say a company you hate and bring it to GoDaddy, or bring it to a company you like. That you could do. But DigitalOcean doesn't actually sell domains, so therefore they can't be your DNS or your registrar, if that makes sense. There's companies that do this.
Thank you.
Namecheap's good, GoDaddy's good.
Google Domains.
Google Domains, well, is not good because it's not bought by Squarespace, and Squarespace is monsters. So I would stay away from that. I would, basically any company works. Like, I like GoDaddy because, you know, I can call them and they have really good support, and that's the only thing I get from them is their domains. For you all, did we get a poll of how many people are buying domains or have domains? Is there a bunch of you?
We only have 3 or 4 at the most.
Okay. Because what you can do actually is you can port your domain sort of to our server, right? And then you can move it again to a different server, but at least you'll understand how to do that. So we'll lightly touch on that. So, and again, guys, cPanel is a huge platform. So going forward, we're going to give you some alternatives, you know, but this is the cream of the crop. This is the best one. So in cPanel, when you're doing domains, let's say you have a domain that you want, you can either search for it or type it or just click it. And what it looks like is you would put a new domain here. So you would hit like create a domain. So if you have a domain, you can actually do this. So it'd be like mydomain.com. And then where you would send it actually is the important part. So right here is the location. So to find out the location, right, you can go into applications and you can see. So this would be the root, right? And then this would be something called recap. So this is probably going to be the first time you guys see this, so pay attention. This is really, really, really important. So managing your server infrastructure is not just in WordPress. If something goes wrong, you have the ability to go directly into the server. This is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom it in so you guys can see it a little more clearly. Here's what it looks like when you're in the file manager. This is what the actual server looks like. So if you click www or public, so anything with the globe will bring you to your websites. Here you can see recap. That's one WordPress. And here's the other. You see? So you would literally tell it to go to recap, let's say, the domain. So you would copy this like this. You see? And then you would go back. And this is all documented. So you don't have to just use this one time I'm showing you and be like, oh my God, I didn't remember. You can literally go on Google and write add a domain to cPanel. This is like a huge company, guys. mynewdomain.com. So you can actually go here, and this is where you'd put this. But you see how it says public twice? You don't need that. You just need recap. So if I did this, whatever domain I put here would be the result of that folder. So if I put mynewdomain.com, it would go to recap. So for you, that would be like sarahmakerspace.com, right? Or jeffg.com, or starboss.com, or sharonisthebest.com. One of those, you know?
To make it kind of, I don't know if this clears up anything for anybody. When you have a domain name and you're purchasing it from one of those household kind of places where they keep it for you. So it could be Namecheap, it could be GoDaddy, it could be any number of different places that are authorized to sell domain names, right? A domain name is what you're known as, but it has to be registered with ICANN, which is the International Corp for Assigned Names and Numbers, according to our friends at Grok down below. But basically, when you're thinking about rerouting your name, so when you have it house held, it's not moving it anywhere. It's still with GoDaddy. It's still camped out there. It's just got a big blinker over it and it's directing you to something else. And what you're going to be using is that DNS. So that's your domain name service. And it'll point it. One of the reasons why I used GoDaddy, or I still use GoDaddy, is exactly for this reason. Because if you frack it up, then there are people that actually look for mistakes. And to give you an inkling, our friend Robert Scoble, who has had his domain name for literally 20 years. It's got to be. I mean, I started being a GoDaddy customer in 1999, which is when I think they started, right? He did too. And for some reason, his card that is used to, pay his bill expired and he didn't get the message. And so somebody noticing it swooped in and stole his domain name. Now, they're trying to get it back and everything else. But what's so important are the links that are attached to it. So when you're monetizing your site and everything else, all that incoming traffic, when you see a lot of these big, huge, massive influencers, you have to understand that they have the advantage of compound interest. That a lot of them have purchased very old websites that had a lot of backlinks and a lot of interesting stuff connected to it. But, case in point, Robert Scoble lost his domain name, his personal name, Scobleizer. That is his entire brand. It is his copyright. It's everything, right? And thankfully, he has a bunch of friends here on X that have been berating and bombarding GoDaddy to try to figure out how to get it back. Now, if you're going with a service that is very small and limited, they may not be able to help you in those circumstances. So it is kind of poignant and timely that we're discussing this today, because you don't want to lose names that are very valuable. I'll give you, for instance, a number of my names are going on to the lunar surface and they're going to stay there, and they're owned now, by me. But if I lose them, you also lose that novelty and the scarcity model of it, and you're not able to sell them and things like that. So you have to be really careful. The more you mess around with it and switch them from here to there to everywhere, there's always a layer of, you could frack this up. So depending on how you want to do it. I really do strongly, recommend going with the bigger company for right now until you understand how all of this works and where everything is being held, right? That's just like if you are dabbling in crypto or whatnot, you need to know who has the custodial wallets, right? You need to understand, who has what. Otherwise, the streams get crossed. So I don't think that helps very much, but Cloudflare, I do believe, also has a whole tutorial. I know that the cPanel also has a number of tutorials about what the hell a domain name is. It's not listed as that, but I will try to find it because a lot of people have questions about it. So hopefully we'll have that on the record and the recording and you can kind of come back to it. But it's definitely interesting to see how that giant internet phone book actually works. I think we lost Ross because he's no longer a speaker, at least on my.
Speaker?
Yeah.
How am I speaking?
Well, you're
Live.
speaking. Are you speaking on Alishers or are you speaking on Tech in Schools?
Tech in Schools, so it's lying to you. Don't listen to it.
Okay. Well,
Fake.
I love hearing your lovely voice, my friend. And I like your new profile pic, by the way.
Do you? Got my
yeah.
hidden Twitter?
I think it looks very nice on you. I'm just sad that you're following Miley Cyrus and not me, but that's neither this or that.
I made
ahead.
it quickly and I hit next. So I
I
followed
figured you
whoever.
did because you're following some very interesting friends there.
I think the funniest one, I think I was following Tony the Tiger. So that's fun. But so if you guys have a domain, right, it's really important that you understand how to bring it over because let's say you win and you're one of the chosen people, your site will stay up. So you can just go ahead and port your domain over to us. So you want to understand how to do that stuff. And let me just refresh this in case it. Hold on. So if you don't have a domain, you obviously can't. Even if you win, you can't. You still can't use the tsiprogram.org, obviously. So you kind of have to get a domain. Let's say if your site's staying up, you must have your own domain. You cannot use TSI program in a professional way.
That is definitely something you have to do. You can't be a squatter. That's just the way it is. Dan, you have your hand up. How can we help you, friend?
Yeah, so now I'm understanding this a little better because now I'm changing my answer. I do have a domain, but I bought it for something else. But it sounds like I may be able to use it. Like I have the domain getreal.io. I was going to do some reels, making some little like memes with music. But so I could essentially create a like migrate this meditation music page over there and then kind of redirect the name of it. What does that work? I guess I'm still confused.
I'm gonna do one live on stream. So we're gonna redirect someone. Well, redirect one. But
Dan, it would be very, very confusing because you'd still have to type in the address of reels.io. And then when they get there, they're going to see the new name. You know what I mean? They're going to go, wait a second. And a lot of times that'll send up red flags and people think that they're on a scam site. So you have to be careful. You have to match.
Okay. No, that makes sense. But I just look for the musicformeditation.com and it's like $4,200. Like, no.
yeah, TSI. I think TSI.org is like $7,000. I was like, whoop, we're gonna add a my in front of that and call that a day, because that's crazy. My apps AI is here, right? That's what we're gonna use.
Dan, could you actually use like meditations with the number 4?
Yeah, I'm trying a couple things.
Well, be very creative. Usually adding a the at the beginning of it helps because most people don't like to put the. But you know what? it's correct grammar. So just go ahead and if it gets it to you, you can. Jeff, how are you, friend? What do you got going on? Did you snag your name?
Yeah, well, I thought I did, but then I got a notice that it said that the payment for somehow or other, something failed on their end. I'm gonna have to go back later. But no, the reason I raised my hand was because I just got flipped back over to the live stream screen, and I noticed that Ross or whoever in there had just set up another installation of WordPress, and I was trying to catch that before they got to that point because I wanted to see what we'd the steps to do that. Because I've got a second web page project I wanted to try and get started on. But
Oh, so you were looking for the list that Alicia went over for
well, no.
kind of
I don't
recap, or
think
no?
I don't know if it was Alicia or Ross, but one of them had just initiated another instance of WordPress on the whatever site they're working on. I think it was Dan's site that they were on there. And it ended up being blog number 3, but it was just, I was trying to catch them go through the steps that actually got that second or third site, WordPress site
Yeah,
thing
just watch me.
building.
I'm gonna do it again. I just was doing something quickly. That's why I went fast. I was just checking something.
Jeff, go ahead and watch him right now. He's doing the same thing on the screen.
Okay, so quick thing. We're gonna go over this if you do what I'm doing. So, what is DNS? Why is it important? I'm not gonna read this. You could. I'm just gonna give you the TLDR. So, DNS propagates around the world, and some companies are faster than others. GoDaddy straight up lies to you and tells you it's 48 hours, and it's about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Other companies will tell you it's 15 minutes and it's 48 hours. So what you want to do is pick a good company that's going to have a big company. Small companies, you're looking at 24, 48 hours.
GoDaddy is good, guys.
GoDaddy's
Cloudflare is
great.
good.
Also, you can call
Native
GoDaddy.
is good.
You can literally call GoDaddy, guys, and be like, yo, what's up? My domain's not propagated. Give it a kick. And they could be like, boom, I'm going to kick it and send a pulse. And then they'll speed it up. Like, you need that kind of support. You can't be waiting 2 days to do propagation. That's heresy. Crazy.
It really is literally 20 minutes. And when I did the Squarespace thing way back, it was a very simple process where they just kind of walk you through it, and you can go through your account and they explain every step of the way so that you understand when you are connecting that DNS to something else. For me personally, it's worth the extra. And if you have more than 20 domains, I think it is, or 100 domain names there, you get a severe discount. I mean, I think I pay extra to get the low price, but I mean, for me, it's still only $8 a name because I've paid that premium. But I also have literally hundreds and hundreds of domains, because anytime you're working on a project, when let's say this thing works out for you and you decide that you're going to be building websites for other people, you're still going to have some place to purchase these names, and then before you hand them off to other people, because if you're creating this ecosystem, you're handing off the whole thing. You know what I mean? And so being able to purchase these domain names at a discount and then selling them after the fact at full price, that's very helpful. And it's so incredibly streamlined. They're very easy in terms of how you can push those sites along, and they'll hold your hand literally the entire step of the way. Go ahead, Dan.
Yes, I just put a domain in the chat that I can get for a penny for the first year with a 3-year term, and I'm just wondering, like, what's the catch? I put a little picture there, so I'm just curious because
So
it's
the
actually
catch is the first year is going to be the really good whatever, and then it goes up a little bit, but it's good. I would buy them at not 1 year. I would try to do 2 or 3 depending on the discount. But little pro tip is if you buy 1 year, right? If it's cheap, you can normally call them and be like, give me a discount, and they'll do it. It's called like a verbal discount ask. Like, it's part of what they have to do. Like, you have to actually be like, give me a discount. It's crazy, but that's what you gotta do. They are authorized to do something if you say, hey, give me a discount, or I'm walking. That will give them authorized to do a discount for you. So that's helpful too.
The other thing too is it's a .net. So sometimes, let's say you have a .info or a .org, some of those suffixes, the whatever it is, can be astronomical. For instance, a .ai can run you $69 every year. You know, it just depends. So they'll bring you in at the cheaper price, but also be very forewarned that it's going to be a harder hill to climb when you have a .net, because .coms by far are more, you know, they are given preferential treatment almost. I mean, when people think about them. But you know what, for this ball of wax, what you're building tonight, a penny, that's awesome, because then when you find the name of your dreams, you can always, you know, kind of fix it. You see what I'm saying?
Also, guys, if you haven't been updating and putting your URLs in the comments on every single thing, you're severely keeping us away from looking at your project. We are not going to keep look inside your project and find your URL and then look at it and check it out. You have to be bold and give it to us. You have to put it in the comments every single class. If we're not seeing it, we are not seeing it. Literally that. This is how we're actually choosing. It's not at the end. It's what's going on in the middle. So please keep in mind, continue to use the purple bubble. Share your link and tag us in it. And like just spam us until we see it. Like we need to see your stuff. And Twitter's a little crazy. So DM us or tag it. Like we need to be able to look at, like, after the fact, we need to be able to see what you guys are working on.
Dan, also erase that tweet, because if other people see it, you're going to have professional name buyers see that on the
I
stream.
just thought of that. Yes,
Yeah, get rid of it right now. I love you to the moon and back, but you shouldn't do that. I mean, even folks don't understand that there are people that have bots that troll for searches. So if you're searching for a .com or whatnot, just in a general search like Google, they'll snap it up right underneath you because they know you're looking for it. You know, I have a special app that I can look at domain names behind the scenes that doesn't trigger any of that stuff, because it's a very old app that they don't have on the store anymore, but it still is a wonderful tool. So just, yeah, remove that so other people aren't seeing it.
It's gone. Yeah, I thought of that just when you said that.
I love you to the moon and back, kiddo. Okay, continue, Ross.
But yeah, everyone in this room, if you have your WordPress, you should just post it so we could see it. Like, we need to be able to see your links, guys, like what you want us to see. So just give us your homepage or whatever you're working on every time we have class. And like, if you make changes, post it. Like, let's collaborate with each other. Like, for example, if I wanted to see like what Karis is working on, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything. I did just peep some of your stuff and it's like really cool, but that doesn't count. So my eyes, it's like I didn't even see it. You have to give it to me. Then I will see it. That's how I will be able to follow up with what you guys are building.
And it's easy to follow for the first couple weeks because, you know, he gets to see behind the scenes, and then it's on the X stream. So let's say mine is Pocket Folks, and I haven't updated mine because I'm still waiting for a second Stripe account. But you're looking at it and you say, okay, he can see it those first couple weeks, but then any progress. So if you blew up all the pages because you didn't like the template or you didn't do whatever else, that still doesn't matter. It just, you have to show him continual progress because it is consistency. You're not any website. Okay. This is Sarah's do as I say, not as I'm doing. Okay. If you go to serendipitous.com, I hand drew those back in the day as a dare. So, it's really hard to kind of do what we did. And it is a grandfathered, you know, what you see is what you get is what they used to call it. But the thing is that you're not supposed to leave websites like mine stagnant. So the ongoing joke is that I would update it exactly 1 year every time we had a Maker Faire project. And it's become a running joke in the Burning Man community and et cetera, right? But you can't let it be stagnant. It has to be updated. So when Ross is asking you to do these kinds of things, it's not to give you busy work. It's actually to give you a mental or a muscle memory in terms of you have to kind of consistently log in. You have to consistently check your links. You know, we had broken links before class today, and you have to fix them right away. You know, you have to continually be that velociraptor that is constantly testing the fences to make sure, are they still, you know, capable of keeping me contained. You know, you're constantly testing them, and you're constantly testing the links for the offerings that you have, whether it's the goods and services, etc. Because if you're not, all it takes is one layer of friction and you lose that customer. So if you have links that are not working, or if you have data that feels old and dated, if you have any of those number of things, it reflects poorly on you. And so, you know, that is one of the things that he's asking you to do. It's not because, you know, you want to win. Yes, of course, you want to win the big thing, but also you want to win at being an entrepreneur. You want to win at mastering this skill and having that arrow in your quiver to use when you need to, right? So I just want to put that out there, that it's not because he wants to waste your time, or, you know, he wants to see all those things. It helps him, but it also is helping you reinforce skill sets that you actually need to have in order to maintain this kind of ecosystem for yourself as a solopreneur.
It's true. And also, like, I want to give you guys the opportunity to, some of you, to actually keep the site, but like, I can't if I don't know your sites. And it's really hard for me to like go find them and see the exact thing you wanted me to see, you know? So I just would love if you share with me the site, if you would if you would potentially want to keep it. Like, that would be what you would have to do now and next week to be like in the running. Because I've been looking at what you guys share every single week. I sit there at the end of this and I look at everything. And that's how I'm seeing progress. Because in reality, you need to be accountable for yourself. I can't just like log in and see you. Like, that's not real. You need to be accountable for your own stuff. So if you do want to keep it, feel free to DM me. DM's always open. Tag me. I need to see your links. But that being said, when you're building a domain first or putting a domain on, you need to know the IP. So in our case, this is our IP. Oh, no, sorry, this one. This is your IP where you log in from. So this is your location, wherever your computer is. This is our IP. This is where the website lives. So we need to go to GoDaddy, right? And we need to tell this, which is the A record. The A record is what points the website to something. So we're going to tell it, hey, dude, the server is here, so go there. And then GoDaddy lets you do this cool stuff and be like, 600 seconds instead of 24 hours. Awesome. And then it's like, boom, done. And then it says record copy added. Let's see why. So normally that does not happen. If this ever happens, you have to call GoDaddy. And remember, their technical support is 24/7. So I'm gonna try again. See if it's being weird. Okay, so let's see if I can delete it. Delete. No. So they don't want to let me do it. So that means I need to call support to use this domain. So like, I'm not gonna do that because we don't got time for that. We have lots of domains. So we're gonna choose myapps.ai, which is the one you all know if you have AI Tutor. We're gonna go to DNS and we're gonna add something. So we're gonna add an A record, but it's not gonna be the @ symbol, because the @ symbol is gonna be the whole website. We want to do something like, what can I do for AI Tutor that I could build with you guys right now? Let's see. We can do like a landing page for AI Tutor. So we'll do it lander. So lander.myapps.ai will be a landing page, right? So I'm gonna put this. This is the server. that's corresponding with this. You see? So I'm just going to attempt to save it again. See how this is a half hour? We're going to be like, no, that's crazy. 600 seconds is all you got. We're going to hit save. Look at GoDaddy just dying. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to try in a different browser. So if you guys want to do this with me, feel free to go on GoDaddy and do the same exact thing. You can go add a record. Your A record should be the server. So that's what you need to do. You just leave the @ symbol here. I'm going to do it again, but from a different browser because GoDaddy hates my Chrome right now. So hang on. And keep in mind, GoDaddy can help you with this. You can actually call them and be like, hey, I want to fix this. Can you help me add this A record? And the idea of it not working is pretty rare, like what you're seeing now. I actually don't know why that's happening. I think it's kind of funny, actually, because like I do this all the time. And now GoDaddy wants to die. But we'll see. I'll have Alistair try on his computer, worst case. Maybe it's like my cache. This is correct.
Oh, when I go to that, it's in Spanish for me.
Your GoDaddy's in Spanish? That's not
Yeah.
great. Okay, we're going to save this. Okay, so it looks like that was the browser. So it actually wasn't, my fault. It was the universe's fault, I'm going to just go ahead and say I did everything right and I'm amazing. And I'm not going to feel bad about it because it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, guys, if GoDaddy doesn't work for you in Chrome, I highly recommend another browser.
Yeah.
I was using it the other day and I couldn't even access their website in Chrome.
Just don't get like
Oh, they
stuck on
don't
a
like
browser.
Chrome at all.
Like don't be someone that loves Brave or loves Arc. Like who cares? Get over it. Literally get over it. Find another browser, use it. Like don't try to make it work with your browser that's being stupid. That's just a waste of time and energy, honestly. And Sarah, what were you gonna say? Wait, do you guys hear me? Or is it crashing again?
I hear you, but my son is walking in the door, so all the dogs are going nuts. So I'm going to stay kind of quiet on purpose.
Tell the dogs. Let's relax. But yeah, guys, it's gonna happen. Websites are gonna break. It happens. AI Tutor breaks sometimes, and engineers just have to fix that. That's it. That's like the thing about having an online business or platforms is it's gonna break, and you gotta reconstruct it. And that's just how it is. But so I added it. So it's called Lander. Okay. So now.
Just Ross, real quick, just to let you know too, a lot of times the red flags that Ross was getting from GoDaddy are just layers of protection. It's the same thing that we do on Saturday nights, when, there are bumpers, right, that they've put in place to make sure that people stay safe. People are specifically GoDaddy does not like us taking our domains and pointing them to other places, because they like to have it all encompassing. So they're not going to make it completely easy for you. They would rather you use their products and their tools as opposed to seeking outside, so just keeping that stuff in mind is that you do sometimes have to go a back route, but just be very persistent. And if you have someone on the phone with you and say, look, I'm not leaving, I'm still paying you monthly or yearly for my names. I just want to use a different set of tools. That's it, right? Continue, Ross. I'm sorry I interrupted you,
No,
but I
you're
think
good. And
that's
also-
part of the reason why you got in trouble. You got
Well,
red carded.
these companies, they break a lot. Like nothing's perfect. And all I did was switch browsers. Like literally, that's it. Like I wish it was more cool, but it's not. But basically, I just went to Mozilla, did the same exact thing, and here we are. Now, what I have to do that's going to be a little bit different is, hang on 1 second, guys. I have an important thing I gotta do really quick. 5 seconds.
That ding meant that fries were done. So
No,
in
no, no, no,
the
no.
background, it's
No,
the
I had a
microwave.
very important message I have to send Dan, like right now. But he'll get to it. But anyways, so here is where I would want to add the new domain. So my new domain is lander.myapps.ai. So we're going to go here. We're going to hit create new domain. And we're just going to simply type lander.myapps.ai. If all goes well, right, this works and becomes a real website right now. But we get a subdomain here, which is not going to really be used. So we can just delete this and we can call it like that because it's going to basically create a domain on our platform. So our platform's alistairtest.tsi.program or .tsiprogram.org. So it's going to be lander.alistairtest.tsiprogram.org. And where it goes, that's like a totally different thing. So we actually don't have anything, right? So we can just call it Lander, which is going to be the location. So Lander will be the folder in which if we create this right now, Lander will have the folder structure that we need to make something happen on this domain. So what you want to do right now is, if you're looking at live stream, you kind of want to take a really good look at the screen right now and take out your cell phone or whatever and take a picture. This is the correct setup for bringing a domain onto my server. I'll leave it on the live stream so you guys can screenshot and take pictures. So I'm going to start moving in a minute, but look at the live stream. This is the setup. So if you're on my server or on any server, it doesn't matter. Same exact setup. This is how you add the domain. If you mess this up, then it doesn't work, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit, and we're going to hope that it works. If it doesn't, we investigate, right? You're going to, building things means you're going to become a private investigator eventually. Because you're going to be tracking down things all day long. Like, you're going to be professional tracking down things. It needs a minute. So now I'm looking and I see Lander here. You guys see in my files? Lander is now a folder. And in there is a whole lot of nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait a minute. And it should start to kick in. Any questions on what I just did?
I'm not seeing any, but I'm laughing at Karis. I think she's hilarious. She's like, okay, fine. And I could totally read this as a little kid kicking rocks, arms crossed and saying, I will post this, but this is not what I want to do. And I love her so much for doing it. She's one of my favorite people. So I'm hoping that everybody did take a screenshot. I have one and I will post it. I think I know. Karis is laughing at me.
Karis, I love it. So nice.
She's
nice
brilliant,
job.
actually. I will tell you. Wickedly talented person. And I just adore the fact that she's in my world and she makes me smile. And I really appreciate you working so hard and then also posting it down below. That's really cool.
You guys are really cool for sharing what you're sharing. I'm seeing some really cool things. Thank you for sharing, Karis. I really do like it. And what you're seeing now is this website kind of is done. We kind of talked for a little bit, which kind of gave my server time to figure its life out. And if I click this button, actually, something cool happens. Check it out. Now it's just nothingness. The void. But we can do something now. So we can go here, and if you're a coder, then you definitely know what I'm about to do. If you're not, you gotta learn something really cool. Well, apparently I can't spell today. So check this out, guys. Look, ready? I'm gonna edit this straight from the browser. So I'm gonna be like, hey, What's up, X? Okay, 2 W's. Too many W's. We're gonna make it like giant for fun. Bigger. And red. Yeah. So we're just gonna save this real quick. Now, hang on one sec. Now, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do this thing. Because I'm also, like, the Ross down there is actually me. If anyone was wondering, that is true. I'm gonna post something, so look for the post by Ross. You guys could tell me what you see. Because, of course, everything we do is live, and it's super real. So head down to the purple bubble, and somebody tell me what you see. Who's going to get there first? People on the iPhone? Probably. It's really just if you have an iPhone, you'll win. Anyone see it? Anyone knows what the website says? Gotta have fun, guys. Go look at it. Seriously, it's live. Does everyone see how cool this is? It's live right now on a custom domain. So no TSI program right now. And you can see it. I'll post it again just in case. This time it's going to be secure. I forgot the SSL. Sorry. It's okay. It's coming. So now if you click it, it's secure. The SSLs are free on our server. Completely free.
I see it.
How cool is that?
I now see it. It took forever, Ross. I was like, dude, I can't see it. And I have an iPhone. So I was feeling a little bit.
You got there, though. You got there. But
I
how
did
cool is that,
eventually.
guys? I just like published a page straight from the server. No WordPress.
That's
Just
really
right
cool.
text. And you know what's so cool? It's actually live. So I could, in theory, change the message now. Look. So now I'll do a secret message. You guys can't see it.
We better talk about how cool we all are, and you know how.
I think Karis wins the post of the day, though. She's got a picture of Ross kicking us all into the pool.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, it's not Ross for real, but it will be Ross later on in life. But yeah, she's just she made me laugh. I was like, trying to find, his post and whatnot. But I just, one of the things that I just find so awesome about this ecosystem is how the camaraderie happens, and there's a certain point where it just kind of clicks. And, it's just so much fun to watch because there are so many wonderful people in this ecosystem, just really wickedly talented, lovely, funny, cool to be around folks. And it's wonderful to see how in the back channels too, and I'm making sure to say this for the recording's sake, whether it's the Slack channels, whether it's, I've noticed in spaces when you see your fellow classmates hosting a space or in a space speaking, I've noticed people coming out of the woodwork just to support, and I just think that is very, very cool. So I just wanted to put that out there. You guys are awesome humans. You really, really are.
Well, thank you for that. You're awesome too. Anyone see the new message? It's live. We're doing secret messages now, guys.
I see it. Thank you.
So this is a way you can send secret messages to your friends. No, I'm kidding.
That's cool.
So we're actually editing live on the server directly. So there's no WordPress, there's no WYSIWYG, and it's kind of cool because you can like turn this on and just start writing code. So you can go to AI Tutor and be like, "Hey man, write all this code for me," or take code that you already have, and you can just host it right on a page. No WordPress needed, just actual code.
That's really cool.
And now And now that we have this domain working, we can actually do some cool stuff. So we can head
I'm
over.
assuming you could put like links in there too, right, Ross? Like if you wanted to be like,
Yeah, but we're not going to do that because we're actually going to use WordPress. Yay. So first, step one is delete this malarkey that we just posted. So we got.
hey, that's not malarkey.
It's malarkey. It's good malarkey. Nice camaraderie, but it has to go, you know? So we have to delete it. So bye-bye to you. And then bye-bye to the other one. It has to be completely empty, guys. Because if it's not empty, it's broken. And also, not broken, but it will break. Quick thing, I did have a call with Lucia, and she's awesome. But in our call, we did some cool stuff. Lucia actually installed a learning management system instead of WordPress. And it's
Say that again
cool.
one more time, Ross. What was it? A learning
Management system. But
okay.
while I set this up, the next demo, Lucia, if you want to come on the stage, you can tell them what you installed and what it does, because it's pretty cool. And there's a lot of other apps, but if you don't want to, no worries. But it was cool because she got to see how you could install like a whole entire functioning application that's not a website. And in her case, it was like a system to learn and create curriculum for her students, kids.
Nice job, Lucia.
Yeah, super cool. So what we're doing now is I'm going to scroll down to WordPress. I'm going to do another WordPress now, but this time things are a little bit different. Here's what's different. Now I have a brand new domain. Check it out, guys. Lander.myapps.ai. A custom domain in this dropdown. Do you see how cool this is?
Wait a second. That actually is very cool. I just now understand what you just did. It took me a minute, but now I'm like, oh, wait a second. Very cool, Ross.
So basically now if I select this, I'm now building on my new website. I can leave this empty. So now if I just say go, like leave me alone, just do it. Starboss, this looks really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I really, really like it.
Just mentioning something from Starboss while we have that on that topic, she was a former teacher, and in her space the other morning, she mentioned this class, and she said, for every 1 hour I spend in class, I spend 3 hours on homework. And I was just thinking about how when you have a credit class in college and whatnot, and how much work goes in behind the scenes. This isn't just showing up and then sitting in the chair. It's showing up daily and doing those little increments. And the way that she had expressed that to her listeners in her space, that, yep, for every hour I'm in class, I have 3 hours behind the scenes trying to muddle through it and understand it and do it. And when she shows her website, it's a testimony to also how she's using her AI cohort to help her muddle through it. Because as a person that has brain injury, she is experiencing this in a completely different way. And she's leaning very heavily into the different tools that she has on hand. And I just, as a testament of resilience, grit, determination, I just wanted to give her flowers because, it's more than just me being her friend. It's also someone watching from the cheap seats, someone really doing an amazing thing. And it makes me feel like a slacker sometimes because I think to myself, wow, I didn't put in as much effort and I really should, that there are no excuses. And there really aren't. There are no excuses. So you have all of these tools at your fingertips and able to do it. And I'm so wicked proud of her. So yeah, it was very cool, Starboss. Thank you for posting.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate all of you guys who are posting because it's super nice to see what you guys are building, honestly. As we come down to the end of the 6-week program, we're gonna do another one. But the thing is, what we've found is that you all really want to build, but we also learned something else, which we kind of knew, but we weren't sure. But now, for sure. So the question is, would people do it the right way if given the correct resources? And by the right way, I'm gonna where Smoke, is he here? We're going to target you today. And I promise I'm not in some kind of mood, and no offense, because we think you're awesome. But you know what you posted in the bubble? So like the problem with what you're posting and what all these people are posting about these website builders and all that, first and foremost, they're all crap, like actual crap on the floor. 2, they are horrifying for your SEO. And not only are they horrifying, I don't mean like it's bad. I mean, like, they tell you that if you want better SEO, you could pay them more. But like, for what is my question? Because code is code and code should work. So you're telling me my code doesn't work until I pay you more. That is malarkey, right? So the question is, if given the correct tools, so open source, WordPress, and the state-of-the-art theme management and creation tools, and a state-of-the-art server with state-of-the-art server management software like cPanel, would you do it the right way? Because vendor lock-in sucks. And anything you build that's locked into a vendor it's bad. It's not a good way to build a business. Because if that vendor changes, well, so does your business. And I know personally people who pay Squarespace, and anyone who thinks I'm lying, go make an actual Squarespace, right? Get popular. Come talk to me again when you have 1,000 users and 10,000 visits a day. My apps.ai gets around 2,000 visits per day. So when you're in that realm, come have a conversation with me, and you're going to have probably the same problem if you have Squarespace, which you most likely won't.
Yes.
But they're going to charge you for bandwidth. Bandwidth in real human terms means people using your site. But in there, when you sign up, you pay $259 for the year. And it's supposed to cover everything. In the fine print, however, you get a certain amount of bandwidth, which is why you see the Vercel nightmares and the Netlify nightmares and the Squarespace nightmares of $86,000, or what they tried to charge us, which was, get this, $1,200 a month. For what? For what?
Well, Ross, there's also another big point that I'm able to say this. My site is on Squarespace, but I can't touch it. I can't do anything with it, because when you're using someone else's tools and platforms, when they decide to upgrade and leave their clients behind, which is what they did for us, right? Is that you have no remediation. You have no way to be made whole. Is that when they decide to move on, then your template goes away, your code goes away, your website, it will stay on the server because it's locked in there, but then you can't do anything with it. That's why we laugh at it, is that I have to actually go through a whole entire rigmarole behind the scenes to just update one page. And even at that, it's not what you should be doing. This is your data, your information, and having the ability to do it on WordPress. What's so great about it is that you have a huge entire community, because so many websites run on these tools, that you have so many people that can help you, right? If I need help from Squarespace, they don't have a single employee, not a single one, that was there from its inception that can help me with that template. And that's one of the reasons why having archaic and old technology is sometimes fun. I mean, yes, it's an ongoing joke, but for a business, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And so you have to kind of think that through, is that if you're depending on somebody else's platform, if you're depending on them to make sure that your stuff goes right, they can pull the plug at any minute. And they can also change the terms of the agreement. They can make your life totally awful. And I'll give you another case in point. We talked about it last week. There's a woman that decided that she did not like the terms of service of Adobe and created her own alternative, right? That would protect data, yada, yada. Had no idea that Vercel was going to cost what it did. And it took her by surprise. I mean, when you get $100,000 bill because you don't know how to scale or you don't know how to navigate these building blocks, it's a real problem. And it's a very big problem for little entrepreneurs, right? So what Ross is saying is absolutely 100% that you do not want to rely on, and I'm not bad mouthing Squarespace or Wix or any of those other things, but what you see is what you get. And that is a very dangerous road to travel on as a solopreneur. It's just like buying a car or a truck that you don't know what's under the hood. It's just something that you need to pay
Yeah,
attention
I
to.
will say, I mean, I am allowed to bash wherever I want, especially on the Ross Cohen account now. It's on now. Just watch. All these
Oh, God.
companies, get ready. But so here's the thing. So like Wix is horrible. It's horrible. Like just monsters under your bed, scary. They don't even let you export your website, which is insane
Nope.
to me.
Or your data.
And
Nothing.
I spoke with someone, a subscriber from AI Tutor. They're building like a website with Wix, and they went to go put in code that AI Tutor was like, "Hey, go put this code in your website," and they had to upgrade to Premium Plus Plus. I mean,
Which
what
is
even is
Probably
that?
tons of money.
Like Plus Plus? Are you kidding me, Wix? Yeah, garbage. Um, I recommend. I don't recommend Squarespace because they're just like less hot garbage. They're still garbage because the exporting from Squarespace is horrifying. Like if you need to take your like you have to pay for that extra. Like you have to upgrade, which is bad. And it is really bad for SEO when you can't directly use whatever you need to do. And it takes you
absolute truth.
considerably
Absolute
a
truth.
lot more time. And so again, the moral of the story is if we made something like this, would people actually do it the right way and learn? And the answer was I thought yes, but you all confirmed it. But like, what if it could be like the next level where like the stakes are higher and you like more people get to take home servers? Like Oprah, like check under your PFP, you get a server, you get a server, you know? Like it's really cool what could happen when you band together really, really powerful people. And that's what we're doing here. Like not just in this room, but like outside this room making this happen because without them, this is like a funny idea thing. Like this is not even reality.
I
This
feel like
still
we're so
doesn't even feel
lucky
like
too,
reality.
though. We're so
Huh?
lucky to know this. I said we're so lucky to like be in this room and know this stuff because like before I met you guys, I think I tried them all: SiteGround, Wix,
Yeah,
HostGator, like everything.
exactly.
And it's they don't tell you that stuff. Yeah, it's like oh, you want more SEO? You want better SEO? Pay more. Yeah.
And I have like tons of DMs about right during in week 5 right now about people that are saying, "Hey, I don't have a server." And it's like, "Well, okay, I get that. That means you came right now." So that we're gonna do more. Like, and we have a lot of things coming soon. But like, you guys helped us prove that this is what people wanted, and it's really interesting to see what you guys build because when given the opportunity, I think you guys can literally even teach yourselves really cool things with the help of like AI and YouTube. And I got to see the coolest thing ever. So, Josh Hellman, I don't know if I know you're invited to Slack. I don't know if you're in the Slack. I know Cash Money is. But you know what's crazy, guys? Some of you are like helping each other. It's crazy. I see you guys cheering each other on, giving each other YouTube videos, sharing like tips and tricks. And I think the value is both in the learning, but then this like collaboration that you guys are doing right now. Like in the Slack right now. Like you need pro to be able to retain history and you need to retain history to actually have like conversations. So that's part of like giving the resources, like would you use them? And I honestly thought like no one would like Slack. People are like, this is dumb. It's like another thing. But you guys you're getting so much value when I see messages come through and then people hopping on Zooms. Did you guys know that? How many people in this room know people hop on Zooms with each other about this inside Slack? This is real. I see it. It's crazy. So I think you guys are really getting a lot of value out of it. And that's why I wanted to like give a quick update on that because I've been seeing it over the last 5 weeks. Trust me.
Ross, one other really important piece of that puzzle that you just mentioned. One, to teach is to learn twice. So when you are transferring your skills to somebody else, especially your classmates here, you're solidifying those core concepts in your head and you're understanding them in a new and innovative way, because you're going to have to communicate it to somebody else. That's number one. Number two, just like what Morgan said, when you try out all of these different websites, right? And there's no one to help you, right? For the solopreneur, for the person that is just a one-man show, right? It costs them so much more to find help, because it's not just I have to pay someone to help me. I have to pay myself in time and energy to learn this new skill, and it keeps me from building my own business, right? But sometimes they don't know who to ask, right? You don't know if you're hiring a snake salesman, or whatever, a snake oil salesman or whatever, but you do have a level of trust with your teammates, right? And your people in the Slack channel. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I can call Starbus, I can call Morgan, I can call Sharon, I can call Britta, I can call Karis, and I can say, hey, I really fracked this up. Can you help me out of this? And there is such a wonderful way of saying, I know someone that I can go to, that I can trust to fix something that's really important to me. But it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? If you're behind the Slack channel and someone says, hey, I need help. Now, granted, if it's a big, big problem, I'm going to say, hey, Ross, can I pay you? Help me fix this, or it could be something really, really major, in which case I will need help. But also the last little piece of the puzzle. Let's say you do have a problem with Supabase or Vercel or the cPanel or any of the number of companies that we've all played with together. You now have the power of numbers, because if you have a problem, right, your friends in your class are going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to retweet and they're going to repost your post. They're going to make sure that you have the visibility that the normal everyday Joe does not have. We have a safety in numbers. It's the most bizarre thing that people don't really truly understand about the digital overlay. We are in our pocket family, right? None of us, meet with one another regularly, but at the same time, someone says, okay, it's time to lace up. We got to go. They're all there. You've got your wingmen and women coming to your aid to help you. And I just think that that is so powerful. If, you have trouble with a big, big company, that the volume of people and the voices that you have in your corners to get some of this stuff solved is incredible. So just put that in your ear too. We are all becoming our own nation states. You just don't know it yet. Lucia's up. How are you, my friend? And I hope that I hope that you tell everybody what you did, because it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, hi. Right when Ross was saying that, my parents stopped in, so I had to go talk with them for a little bit. But I'm back now. Yeah, I mean, I installed the Moodle app, I guess. Still trying to learn how to do things with it, and also how to. I don't know how to put it in WordPress exactly. I mean, it's there in cPanel installed, but I don't know how to get it onto WordPress exactly, like as maybe like a whole tab or something.
Yeah, no, it would be a tab. You built an entire application, actually.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's an entire application, and I see it in cPanel, but I don't know how to see it in WordPress.
It's not in WordPress. Like, that's part of the dots you have to connect. But what she's
Okay.
not telling you is she knew of the software prior to this program. Tell them how you knew about it, and how when you saw it, you were like, I know what that is. I didn't even have to tell you.
Yes, I was aware of Moodle. I had never considered it to add it to a WordPress site, but I was aware of Moodle because I had dabbled with it for free before. So I knew a little bit what you could do with it, like make courses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
and it's free for her. So you would have to normally pay to have your own thing. She got it installed in what, 20 seconds?
okay, well, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and then you logged in and you were able to start creating courses, and you can create your own courses and you could paywall them. It's like building your own little course platform that you can charge people. And there's no third-party fee. You are the platform and you have the courses.
Right. Yes, I like that. I really like that. I look forward to building that out. I haven't had a lot of time to totally build anything out there, but
And why this is super valuable is like, let's say Lucia's website wins, right? That means Moodle stays online too. Lots of value there.
yeah, that would be very cool. Now, I don't know how I would put it in WordPress. You have to integrate the two somehow.
No, you don't. You just have a button that says login. Think how we do myapps.ai, and then you go there, and then you hit login, and you're shifted to our account portal.
Right. So I have to create a login page.
No,
Or-
you already have one.
I
Yeah,
already have one.
Yeah, I'll show you. And when I do this right now, you'll see. So, guys, I'm on a brand new site. It's called lander.myapps.ai. You can go to it, actually. It works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Divi. So this is what we've done so many times. Like, this should not be new. So the first thing I got to do is I need a picture. So I'm going to get a logo. So give me a second.
What is this?
Hang on. And guys, when you create a new site, everything's going to be fresh. Everything's new. So you have to start again, which is normal. So I'm going to choose this little logo. We'll upload it. Choose it. Set. Okay. That's done. Now we need a landing page, right? Because I'm making a landing page for AI Tutor. It's like a real use case, guys. So I'm going to make one page because the landing page is just one page. Now, there's a lot of ways you could do this. There's like ConvertKit and all this stuff. But hey, they all cost money. And like, I don't want to spend any money. I have a server here, like a literal server where I could do anything. So I'm going to use Divi and get a landing page really quick. Choose a pre-made, obviously. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. You can actually search landing, and you're going to get a bunch. So they all have a landing page, see? All of these. This one's cool. It's kind of like super futuristic. I like that, actually. We can change it, actually, to business and things that are like what I'm doing, technology. So we have the Divi AI, which, I mean, honestly, this one's kind of perfect. This one's cool too. So this one's nice. AI generator. Augmented reality is really nice. The AI software is really nice too. It even has our colors, honestly. So I don't want to go with that. That's less work for me, you know? The rest? Is that not the one everybody comes with? No. No. So the landing page is specifically this one. So I could say use this layout, right? So it's gonna import presets. It's gonna do its thing, which is fine. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to create a single page. And when I hit save, the single page is going to act as like, and Morgan, you should like be Notepad right now. This is like basically what ConvertKit and all these things are going to charge you to do.
Right.
You can basically build out the entire system for free. Everything from lead capture, lead generation, I mean, all of it. So here is the website, right? And I love it. I have my little AI Tutor logo. It's amazing. So now I'm going to hit publish. Now, I know it still has, I have to do stuff, but I like to do it this way because for me, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I like to start, even if it's not real, I like to pretend. I like to play pretend a little bit because it makes me really understand what it's going to look like as a user, which is really important. So I'm going to set our homepage like right now. Like I want this to be as real as humanly possible. So right now it's set to a dumb page. We're going to change it to our page. And so this is what I want the front page to look like, the landing page. Now, what's cool is going from like 0 to production when you know what you're doing is actually not hard. Even though it seems crazy, I probably can pump out a landing page, within like an hour or two. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go like kind of slow a little bit, but not super slow, because I want you guys to see real time what it's like. So if you really spend time and watch YouTube videos, you'll be able to really learn about WordPress and Divi. There's a lot of learning. Like we're giving you the most professional grade tools out there right now. And I understand if you have a life and you're like, I can't spend time, that's okay. But some people will take advantage of this opportunity and they will utilize these tools. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start kind of messing with the page. I'm going to not really care about the header. Actually, may not even need a header. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to write get AI tutor now. So easy. Now, when it comes to like this stuff, we have a website. So I can just go to my actual site and I don't have to make new copy. I can go to the actual myapps.ai and pull information. But what I have to remember is SEO when I'm building. I have to remember UX, UI, and how it sounds. So the future of Divi, I like that. It's a call out, right? But I have another call out. We're going to use mine and see how it looks. So you see what just happened? Bad. So here's my trick. Don't delete it all. Stop at the T. You see this? Check this out, guys. Oh no, it's still bad. Okay, so that's bad. So what we want to do is keep the formatting. So you see how I write like this? And it keeps the formatting? So there's a way to paste plain text. There you go. See this? So what I just did is I didn't just paste, because I'm going to teach you something interesting. When you copy, you actually copy CSS code. How many times have you went to go copy an email from AI Tutor or ChatGPT and you're trying to not get found out that you're using AI, even though no one cares and everyone's using AI, including me? And then you paste it and it's got an off-white border that you don't see.
Oh, it's
or
got all
background.
the asterisks.
Yeah.
And all this
And
stuff,
then
yeah.
you're like, oh, dear God, help. So what you can do in this situation is actually paste plain text, and it will eliminate all the problems and paste into the formatting that you're creating. In this case, is very important because we want it to look the way it looks now. We don't want to change it because we like it, and we also don't want to create more work for ourselves. So here's what it looks like with my slogan, actually. So now, once we have it, we can do a few things. We could alter the way it looks. There's a lot of design stuff we can do. There's text. There's, of course, animation. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So right now it's none, but we can make this come alive a little bit. And we could do maybe fade like that. See how nice that looks? So it's nothing versus that. It's nice. Or we can get a little fancy or a little bouncy or a little zoomy or flippy.
I feel like it's important to tell people though why you're doing a landing page if you already have a website as well too, though. Because
so we need a bunch of landing pages. So this landing page is going to be for people that are learning new things, learning how to code, and then we'll have another landing page for businesses. And so what I'm doing is I'm really thinking about okay, for example, artificial intelligence. Sure, I could leave it, but it's stupid. We know, bro, it's artificial intelligence. Something else, right? So I would look at our website and I would see what words I have. So I'm pulling another words right here. Here we go. There we go. Look, now it's really starting to have my brand.
But I
I
also
already
feel
have-
for advertising, right, Ross? Say you wanted to do Facebook ads, or you wanted to do
Oh yeah,
Instagram
because I
ads.
could send them here and I could track conversion.
Exactly.
So I could see from here who actually bought AI Tutor, who converted, and I could use our own affiliate program to track this that we created. And that's why it's really important, because if you can build out your infrastructure where you don't have to actually pay 100 million people 30 and 40 a month, I mean, literally these companies will cap you on how many views you can get, and then it's a whole different conversation. Like it's all good. It's all good and free until you get like customers and it starts popping off and you start
Right?
going viral.
They're like, you're making money. We got to make more money. You know?
Yeah, it's great. Yo, sliding percent fee for web hosting blows my mind that that's legal. That they can just be like, oh, you're getting a little more traffic than normal. Here's how much we're gonna charge you now. This is your new payments.
Right?
Crazy.
Nuts.
So I'm just taking, content that I already have, right? And I'm just putting it in here. So it says, what amazing content when you create with AI? That's like stupid. It's good, but it's stupid. So I use AI Tutor to come up with this awesome stuff. And if you guys want to get AI Tutor, if you're here, you can get 20% off and you should take advantage. Honestly, it's really worth it. It helps come out with all the stuff you're building because you want it to sound good and you don't want it to sound like not well thought out, right? And it's really it makes a difference when you read someone's website and it's like not just like word vomit, which is what I call like just random words put together because it makes sense. Because like all this makes sense except this. This is like Latin or whatever. But you don't need to keep the titles. You almost don't want to. Like you want to have your own brand coming through. Like see all these icons? I'm gonna go to Pixio and I'm gonna make new ones just like this. Like I'm gonna keep everything the same. So features are okay. I don't love it. I feel like there might be a better word. I just gotta see. Hold on. Okay, we'll leave it for now. So we have R&D, machine learning, facial recognition, and we don't really do any of those except chatbots. So I'm gonna look at our website and what I put for what you can do when you're a teacher. So again, my demographic here is going to be for educators, homeschoolers, people that want to learn, or people that have kids that want AI. Mainly for schools in New York, and for this meeting that's coming up is what we're going to use this for. A specific page highlighting what AI Tutor can do for students and teachers, especially teachers, because that's currently what they're asking for. So I'm going to create this page with you because it's like a real thing I need to do. And why wouldn't I use Divi? I mean, it's amazing. Look what I'm doing real fast. So, hang on. Let me get some headlines. So, I got some stuff. So we're going to do some stuff here. So instead of R&D, right, we're going to do something that's important. We're going to do AI-powered lesson plans. Now, lesson plans are not really that impressive, but what's impressive is under here we get to say some words a little bit. So we're gonna say something right here. State-aligned lesson plans. That line, okay. We don't want to say the same thing twice. Say something else there. We will say there we go. Okay. So that would be like one section. Then another one, we have bots. So, and again, this is for teachers. So this is again not for like AI Twitter guys. That's like a different landing page. So what we're doing is geared towards what a teacher would use it for. Ooh, we'll change that. Instance not as good as. And this is just your brain, guys. I'm taking what AI Tutor is giving me and I'm just adding. So now we have facial recognition. So we'll use something different for that. And I'm just, again, browsing my own content, my own website. Okay, the other thing that everyone loves in AI Tutor teachers is this. It's our new AI search. And it's called Data Vibes. But you see how it changed it? We don't want to do that. We gotta go in the middle, even though it's crazy, guys. That's what we do. Because we want it to look pretty. So to look pretty, we gotta make sure that we don't break CSS. So you see how I'm doing it? I'm putting it in the middle so CSS doesn't break. And then I'm just gonna copy this. Good. And so we customized pretty much so far a bunch of stuff. And now we have this. And this doesn't really pertain to us at all. So I would say, I'm looking at our website. Hang on. And guys, this is real time what you would do. So if you're following along, build your landing page.
Folks in the speaker panel, if you can check to make sure that your mics aren't live. There's some feedback in the audio, and I'm not sure where it's coming from, but we don't want the recording to be affected so that as Ross is speaking, people can hear.
Now, when it comes to this section, thank you for that, Sarah. I'm going to, again, go between the letters and put what I want. So this is what I want to be there, not R generate. That's weird. Now I'm going to copy some text to put here too. There we go. So you can already see now it's like all custom now to us. And I'm going to make some graphics, but I don't like worry about graphics right now. We'll do get free demos every Saturday night in ITT. And then we'll make this, because people are going to be like, oh God, what's ITT?
Right.
Freak out. So we're going to fix that right now for our landing page. Because we have to let them know what's up. So we're going to send them here so they could find the correct date. So then I would go to my website and I'd be like, okay, go here. But in case they want to stay on the website, let's not take them away. Let's open a new tab for Innovative Think Tank. And at this point, I'm like, I already get anxious. So we already went further than I would have liked to go, went normally. So at this point, I would then just be checking what's going on because I refuse to keep building unless what I'm doing is working. So let's check it out live. Here we go. This is live. This is not logged into WordPress. So you guys can go to the website and refresh it, and it should look pretty. What do you guys think so far? Check it on your phones. You guys should see this live, what I'm doing.
Looking good. Just pulled it up.
Now, I noticed that I'm seeing it says the future of Divi, and it doesn't.
Oh
say
yeah, I was
the future
actually
of
just gonna
AI.
say that.
So we have to see why that's happening. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to dashboard. We're gonna make sure our page is published. That's important. This looks published. So do you guys see my text or you guys see the old text?
I saw the old text.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try a new browser. You might have to clear your cache. Let's see. Yeah, so if you clear your cache, it'll work perfectly. So what
Okay.
you guys want to do is take that link. You want to copy it, right? And you want to go in an incognito window in Chrome. So on your computer or on your phone, incognito, paste it, and you're going to see the new one. And why this is important is you have to know how to do this or you're never going to be able to find your own changes. So why don't you everyone go check it out. And when you get there, we're going to notice a few things. I hate the button, so we're going to shorten it. But if you hit get free demos, it goes straight to ITT. Do you guys see it?
Yes.
And you can see the new copy. You can see the new sections that I've been building.
Very cool. Yeah, it goes right to the ITT calendar on a new window. Perfect.
Yep. So those of you who said oh, how am I going to send it to my LMS, right? Well, it's just a link. Now, we're going to go back to where we were editing.
Rutro, I did see your message. There are a number of people that cannot see the purple bubble at all. It is a Twitter glitch. Some folks have it, some folks don't. You can try to back out of the system and then come back in, but really anything that you would need to comment in, just comment in the Slack channel. If you're not seeing the purple bubble, um, I'm not exactly sure why that is. So if you can't respond to the space, there's always a back route too. You can always find somebody else's post and then kind of respond to the response, even if it's not in the purple bubble. But I do know that this is a problem. I'm still trying to figure out how to fix it. So just so you know, go ahead, Ross.
Oh no, you're good. I just want to make sure everyone can like see what I'm building here and see the changes because it's pretty cool.
I actually really like this template
Do
a
you?
lot, and I don't usually say that too many times. I did like the Christmas tree one back in the day too, but this is just very. I like the vibe of this one, especially how you're tailoring it to fit. I really like it a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's very
they're
fitting.
futuristic. The Divi ones, like there was one
Divi's
that Ross
crazy,
was on
guys.
before. Yeah, that was really cool. Like I used that to build my Morgan V website, and it was so cool. And then the cooler part was just when I wanted to make other sections of it, like I could pull from the other templates. I didn't just have to stick with that theme. Like I could pull from the other template themes and put it in there. I mean, of course, you want it to look somewhat, like the same, but there's futuristic AI themes. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, Divi's awesome, guys. I mean, you don't understand what you've been given. You will though in the future, and those who win, you're gonna be like, awesome. This is amazing. You'll see. Okay, I'm getting some call to actions happening. Oof, I broke it. So let's not do that. We're gonna go in between the text. Oh, it still broke it. So now we have the paste. It's called plain text. Now I'm like not set on this situation. I feel like this text kind of looks bad, or it needs more text maybe. Let's see. And guys, you can make these builder thingies bigger. Like this. Ooh, I found some more cool text about AI Tutor. Bam. There we go. So free demo, again, we're going to basically replicate what we did here. So no free demo, but you can come to ITT. So we're just going to have the same thing, but now it's going to be in a cool orange button. Again, images I'm probably going to change. Like I'm probably going to make some cool ones. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm going to make some new ones. Images. But okay, so this is unlock your creative potential. Let's see. So we're gonna go here, put some nice text from AI Tutor. Now learn more is really cool because we can go here and we can say, hey, when this happens, open the new tab in case they want. Actually, for this, we'll keep same window, so it'll move them. So we want to move them to our site, right? myapps.ai. So when they're like willing to learn more, now they go to the actual website. Now this is really cool because this is where you can put your testimonials. But what I would do is put like Twitter cards here. And so I have this post I put out and collected all you guys' testimonials. You guys about to be famous on the landing page. So like we can do custom elements, which we'll get to, but first we have to get it all like working. So check out how other people are using it. No, I don't like that. I think we have something better. Yeah. So we want to keep the format, obviously, guys. We're just gonna, there we go. Now, because I can change individual elements, I can actually make this like the cool AI Tutor pink, like from our platform. And I can get the actual one. This is not the real one. I'm just guessing here. But you see how I just changed one little word? Look. And then I could do the same thing with this right here. A lot of people don't understand how cool this is that you can do this. So I'm just using our colors. See how cool and interesting it is when you just switch up colors? And you can get to experiment with this. It's called A/B testing. I'm going to pull some random stuff that is a review. So here is one. And these are real. Yeah. And now it's kind of long. So we got to figure out, we're going to shorten it because we definitely don't want it to be huge. So we'll shorten it to what we want. Now, I personally love the idea of Twitter cards here, but this will suffice for now. So this customer is got to put his name. So yeah, he's like a real customer. He's a teacher. So I'll fill that out after. I just want to get some of this filler text in here. So I'm just scouring my homepage, and you could use AI to generate all of this stuff. I'm just getting like taglines right now. And it's really fun because like I don't have to pay, and I can make hundreds of these. I can make one in Spanish. I can make one in Italian. It's like I can do whatever I want. There's no restrictions. No, you can make literally 150 of them. And you know what people did in the way back when? They would literally have a website per city, which is something really.
Yeah, right. The landing page, a landing page
Yeah.
so that you could be found easier. I saw that before, where somebody who built websites, she was messaging her customers and saying like, yeah, like you're gonna want a landing page in like every county so that you show up for you know that county. So there's another thing, if any of you are trying to make services, building websites for other people, something to think about. Absolutely a way to make
like this landing page, guys, you can literally charge someone $500 easy.
Absolutely.
And more. Like that's nothing.
Absolutely. And to think like a landing page for every county so that it shows up SEO wise, like come on.
Yeah, it's so crazy what you could do. People don't actually understand. Like in theory, right now, what you guys have been given, even just in your backup, is hundreds of dollars bundled together so that you can kickstart and build a website pretty easily at any point in time. It's pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if you guys like realize this. Do an emoji if you like figured this out. Who figured this out? Let's see. Any emojis? Hopefully you did.
You got them. They're coming.
Because it's like real. It's like a big problem too. Because people think that the easiest way is the best way, and the easiest way is probably the worst way, honestly.
Right. I mean, that's, I hate to admit it, but I used to think that way. I was like, oh, I can't build web pages. Let me get AI to do it for me. And then I would, just like I said, I tried Wix, I tried SiteGround, I tried GoDaddy, I tried Hostinger, like I tried all of them. But just like you said, yeah, there's another tier if you want to be seen, if you want to. It's crazy.
Well, some of the lower cost items and things like that, Morgan, they cost you so much more, not just in time and energy and money, but also damage to your brand. I mean, that's the other major thing that you don't think about when you have you don't have the ability to tailor the experience. What you're offering your client is something that's subpar. I see that Lucia has her hand up. What did you want to say, love?
I just have a question. So you build this landing page and then you collect emails or whatever, or you like offer a service. But what do you like? How do you have an email list? Like you said, you can build all of this without needing an email service provider. right? Like how do you build it in WordPress to collect emails
I'm
or
gonna
send
do
out
it.
automated emails or something like that?
Yeah, this is all so easy to do. Like, there's plugins that do this. There's like Beehive can connect.
So you
It's
do have
crazy.
to have a different service, like Beehive or something.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, I went years with my own SMTP service that I built from scratch, where we were sending out emails from our servers. Actually, GoDaddy can send out emails automatically too, but you're not allowed to do that right now because you guys are on a special version of cPanel that have certain limitations. Actually, Lucia, she's like, I want to install this thing. We install it, and we hit the limitations that I set forth for you guys. We had to break some shackles a little bit, me and Lucia. So we actually installed some things on everyone's server just to help Lucia, because I had to do one, do for one, do for all.
Wasn't there a CRM that you were telling us last week that we had to have the Brevo or
Yeah,
the?
Brevo is a great one.
Okay. What about System.io?
See, that's where you're getting into like what I'm trying to tell you not to do. But sure, you can go pay them. You can pay whoever you want.
Well, I mean, it's free. I
So if
wasn't
it's
going to do
free-
anything beyond free.
If it's free, you can use it. Yeah, System.io has the
Yeah, System.io. It's free up until I forget how many emails.
Yeah, look, if it's free,
running.
it can work in WordPress. Like WordPress probably has a plugin called System.io.
Oh, okay. But can you do it without any of that? Like, can you? What was that?
Yeah,
You
I'm
mentioned.
doing it with nothing. Lucia, if you watch the stream right now, I'm literally gonna do it without paying no one anything. No one's
Okay.
getting the money. It's all gonna be free.
Well, I see the landing page. Wait, hold on. I got out of this accidentally. It's really behind on the screen, so.
It's okay. It's updating. It's
little lag.
updating. Don't worry.
Okay, now it's not showing up. Oh, there it is. Okay. But so you can actually collect emails and then send out emails?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that there's got to be a good plugin for that, no?
Like, how would you even do
Yeah.
that? I
We're
don't.
gonna look at all of them. We're gonna look at some plugins together. Okay, this is looking good. We're liking this right now. Okay, great. Okay, so I don't love this, so we're gonna just get rid of it. This basically should all go to the same place, right? So we want all this basically, like every link here, to go to like product should go somewhere else. So right now it goes to this. We don't want that. We want it all to go to basically the same link. So that is where we want it to go. So to do this, you would like start from the bottom and you would just go forth. Onward. Okay. Who's doing this with me? Who's watching this like Netflix? Do an emoji if you're doing it with me. Do like a thumbs up. Do a like, I don't know, a waving hand emoji if you're watching me like Netflix. Ooh, we got some Netflix and chillers here. I see you. I see you.
ITT and chill.
That's a coffee mug.
I love it.
Okay. So I basically
We are going to have an
went through
extensive line of
this
coffee
whole
mugs.
thing. So I would do that and I would send like this to contact, this to newsletter, whatever. It's good. Okay, so now I would need some new pictures. Also awful. This orange is awful. So we gotta fix this. No, black is not good for this. Purple's okay. Yeah, purple's okay. And then this would be like pink. This orange is killing me right now.
See, Sarah, this is a great way to make a landing page, like for Coffee Mug City, and and then put the link into Redbubble where all the coffee mugs are.
And guys, I'm saving this, so y'all can just see it. Oh God, more orange. Gotta get rid of it. Horrifying. No offense if you love orange, but no, I don't like it.
Those aren't your brand. The orange really isn't in your brand color, so.
Definitely not. Oh my god! So Dippy has so many options. You gotta do like the right one, and then it could be being overridden too. Not fun. Ah, there we go. What number is this? Okay, let's copy that. Okay, good. So there's another one
One of the
here.
things too, though, when you are picking out, colors specifically, keeping track of those hex codes are really important because they're all like monitor safe. I know we've talked about this before. Monitor safe colors are important when it comes to branding because you want it to have that consistent vibe across everybody's whatever device they're using and things like that. But more so too, let's say you want to have real world branding, right? There's a reason that Tiffany has its very specific color. Right. My kids when they were young, my sons always called Tiffany that blue green color porta potty green, which was kind of funny in our family because Tiffany brand is so high end. But I mean, even certain brands of shoes with the red soles, and it's a very specific color. People are going to recognize you by many different sensory points. We've talked about in this space before audio cues. It may be one of those things that you decide that when someone clicks a button, that they're going to hear that little, fairy fart in the background, whatever it is, right? But they're going to associate that sound with you, right? Dave Meyer mentioned it, or Mir, I always screw his name up. In our space on Saturday, he reiterated that point about those social audio cues. We're all learning about each other, obviously, through an audio platform. But you have to understand, too, that we are also competing for units of attention. And so it's not just about the colors and the vibe and the way that, you experience it. There's a whole entire ecosystem of other sensory kind of experiences that people are going to associate with your brand. And it's really important to keep track of those things. So if you pick a very specific shade of purple, write down those codes because then when you print your actual real world trinkets and trash to hand out to folks, that swag that we all get, you want to make sure that there's a consistency because printing real world objects can be a real bear if you don't know what colors you've chosen. You can't just say to the printer, I've picked purple. It's a very specific kind of thing. So just keep track, just like when you're keeping track of what template you use. When you have your notebook and it's specific for this class, make sure you're keeping track of all those things, not just the websites that we visit and your passwords and things like that, but the mundane things like here's the hex code for the color purple. Here is the template that I chose. Those are the kinds of things where your pictures are located in your computer, all of those wonderful things in the middle of the night where if something goes wrong and you have to, fix something or send something in or whatever, you want to have that continuity at your fingertips, if that makes sense. Go ahead, Ross.
Oh no, it all makes sense what you're saying. I just was wanting to see if you guys seen all the changes. So I just pushed the latest version of changes. So you should see like a fully different landing page. But there's a few things we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you how to like get rid of some things before I start really customizing. But guys, I mean, I did this right in front of you. Someone would legit pay you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. And I know that sounds crazy, but like, it's really not. It really, really isn't. I did this for 15 years, guys. And it was fun. Not gonna lie, I really had a lot of fun. Spending time with a lot of different entrepreneurs, helping them build what they wanted to build was super fun. And also, they pay a lot of money because they don't want to learn. You guys are here in this room, so you're on the other side of the coin. You want to learn, which means you can use those skills and turn them into value. You know, a lot of people, they'll be like, I want to use WordPress, and they have no idea that like something like Divi exists. Because when you install WordPress, it literally is just a blog. That's it. Now that this works, so there's a few things. I have a footer that is nice. Then I have a footer that is trash and ugly and horrifying and disgusting. So we have a few different things we can do. Do you guys see my screen lighting up? Do an emoji if my screen's lighting up for you. No one sees this? Come on. Okay, yes.
I do. I had
Good.
it in dark mode, and then all of a sudden you hurt me. You hurt me very badly. I was like, oh, what the? Yeah.
Well,
let me
I'm going
stop
to do it a lot so you can wake up. Let's strobe you a little bit. Okay.
it. Strobe you. Sounds awful.
There's a coffee mug.
So, and as you can see,
Get
as we are making Sarah go blind on the live stream right now, you can see this ugly, disgusting, horrifying footer lights up when I select this. Who sees that?
I do. I remember having it on mine and being like, how do I get that off
I
there?
know, it's just gross. Okay. So in main footer, there's like this hashtag main footer, right? Guys, if there's anything you can remember today, I want you to like reach inward into your soul right now and just be like, person who is operating this human body, remember this right now. So turn on your memory functions, put on your memory hat, whatever it is. These 2 words will probably change your life if you remember them. So when you're dealing with something that is ugly, horrifying, and disgusting, and you just need it to disappear off the face of the earth, there's a fun little thing that we do as developers. We do that, and then we just write the word none. If you can actually remember the word display none, I mean, life is just going to be better. Like, not a little better, a whole lot better when you're writing code and you're editing CSS. So in WordPress, it's like the holy grail because I can copy this code right now. And as you see, the code already worked. See, the footer is gone, disappeared off the face of the galaxy. Now, this technique is really good. And I'm going to show you how to actually do it. But what's cool is if you ever go and inspect element and you're like, you log into like your bank and you go to inspect element and then you add like 30 zeros to your current balance and you're like, oh, amazing, you know, but it's not real. But now, because you are the server side, you are the client side, you are all the sides, you are head honcho or queen bee, whatever you identify with, you can go here and we could inject this code that's changing things. And we can make it be read. But there's another trick. So you know the first trick. So now if you can remember the first trick and you can remember this trick, life, doing CSS is about to get way better. Ready? So it's called exclamation sign, important. And so when you do this, it's going to, why did it do that? Hold on. Yeah. When you do this, it's going to listen to you. Important means whatever previous instructions you had, ignore them, website, and listen to me now. I am your creator. That's what it does. So when you do that, the code, and I publish this right now, and you guys go check it out, footer's gone off the face of the earth like it never even existed. Poof.
Can I see you pull up that side box again, though? The side menu on the left?
How I did it? Like, how did I get here?
Yeah, sorry.
Super easy. So you go to appearance, and then customize. And what's cool, guys, is you can use AI Tutor. So all you guys out there that have AI Tutor to write CSS code for you, and you can put it here and start changing your website live without buttons. So no buttons, no Divi. Code, actual
Appearance
code.
and customize.
Huh?
Appearance and customize, right?
See, yes.
Got you. Thank you.
But do you guys see? If you go to my website right now, you'll see the difference. That stupid, ugly footer that is the worst is gone.
But is that gone because you wrote the display
Yeah,
none
it's like
and
I
then
disintegrated it. Yeah.
okay.
If I undo my
So what was
code,
the
it
change
comes back.
energy important?
Yeah, if I undo my code,
Okay,
it comes back, Morgan. My code keeps it dead, which is good. That was what I want.
got you.
Also, can we just appreciate my landing page and how mobile friendly it is right now, guys?
I'm on my desktop, so I'll have to check it out on the phone
It's
though.
perfect.
How's it looking, Sarah, on the phone?
I'm liking it. It's really fast too. There's a delay on the screen, and so I'm seeing the delay, but then on the cell phone, it's far quicker. But I also like the fact, I think this is something that's also really important, that a lot of the other services that you use are not necessarily mobile friendly all the time. You kind of have to hunt and gather for that. And right now, you have to understand most of the population, they are getting their information, they're making their sales, they're doing everything from their pocket. They have their pocket family that goes with them too. So it is very, very important. And especially if you're marketing towards certain demographics, if you have young makers, especially, cell phones are really important because many of them don't even have a laptop. They can only access laptops from their schools. And many seniors, believe it or not, in retirement homes or the likewise, I've been noticing more and more, they don't have computers anymore. Everything's on their cell phones, which is very fascinating to me. It's a trend that I did not expect, but it's just easier. They'll just have a bigger phone, or an iPad. So you want to make sure that it looks pretty on all of the different devices that one person may have. And it is, I know that iPhones are kind of snobby, that you tend to have more interesting things can happen on an iPhone, but all of my kids have Androids, so I'll just tell you, it's really well done. I like it how on my regular screen too, it tends to focus in the middle of the page, which is important because for those of us that have a bazillion tabs open and things on the left and the right, having it in the middle of the page is pretty cool. So, yep, I like this a lot, actually. I think it's really on brand for you too, Ross. It's really cool.
Okay, so thank you for that. Now what I'm going to do is install this all-in-one SEO to fix up my site right now because there's a lot of like just another blog stuff going on. So I'm going to choose either Yoast or this. I never tried this, so we'll
Do
try
folks
it.
know what SEO is, just for the sake of the recording? And I'm pretty sure everybody in the room does, but search engine optimization. It's actually really important that you use the plugins that are more popular because they're also outfitted with AI. So you want to make sure that you're going with things that are updated frequently, as Ross, Nick, and Alisher have pointed out.
Also, y'all, this is cool. There's like a plugin by Google that I did not know about. So we're going to maybe install that first. Hold on, I need to get some sort of little description. Sure, for now. Okay, so here's my description. We're going to say we are a corporation. No, online store. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Site title. And yeah. And then people do dashes. People do this weird thing. I don't even know what this is called, but we'll do that. And we'll find. Let me go to our website actually. Because there's something on there that's good. Yeah, this. So we're going to steal that. And we're going to put it here. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Is that an emoji? Oh, no. Stupid. Oh, it's called a separator? Hilarious. Guys, we just learned something. I guess that's what it would make. It would make a programmatic version of my little line. So that would be good for a blog. We're not a blog. Okay, so it's saying, are you a person or an org? So we have site title, which is now a variable, but the actual organization would be AI. Well, it's not, but it's Tech and School Initiative. But we're just going to put AI Tutor for now. Organization description. Okay. Now, this is optional, guys, but you don't have to do it. The reason why people do it is because if you're an organization, you definitely want these things. Like you want to have your phone number. For us, we don't really need it. What we do need, though, is we need some pictures. So I'm going to input some cool pictures that I have and some videos. So hang on. Yeah, I am. So we're gonna get a picture of premium section. We'll use that as the social share. So social share is called OG, and no, it's not Original Gangsta Cash Money Kev. Sorry, don't get excited. It is Open Graph, and what it means is that when you share your stuff, that was so close to a curse. When you share your stuff, it will have a screenshot associated with the share, which is really useful for when you share it on social media or any sort of platform at all. Doesn't necessarily have to be social media, but generally speaking, social media is where it's most prominent. I'm going to just choose my little logo. Social profiles. So here it's really cool. So I could be like the URL. So right, I would go to like Twitter and I would go to TSI and I would look for my AI tutor, right? Because that's what this is. Then I put it there. So easy. And then I don't know how to do this one, so I'd have to find this. Your X URL is invalid. Maybe it just wants that. That is my X URL. Okay, Divi's tripping, guys, a little bit. Unless it doesn't want this. Yeah, no, I don't know. So we'll do that later. Who cares? But yeah, you would need to put your TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Oh my God, this is the blurred out one. Good Lord. Let me change that. Hold on, guys. So that's from a post that we did. It has 2 buttons blurred out. We don't want that. So we're going to use something different. We're going to use this one. This is a nice social image too. So we didn't do all of this. There's like a lot to do. But the most important we did. So we're going to continue. Site is live. Multiple authors. Oh, look how nice it looks, guys, for Google. I mean, that looks terrible, the My Blog part, but we're going to fix that. Save. All right, if you guys have a question, feel free to stop me. I'm just kind of going through this so you guys can see it.
I am actually looking forward to going through the repeat all over again, because now I think sometimes it takes a minute just to kind of sink in. And then I think to myself, oh, that's why he did that way back then. Because sometimes, you've been doing this for so long that you know what to look for. And now I think to myself, oh, wait a second, now I understand why this was, sometimes I'll put the cart before the horse, or the horse before the cart. And that just clicked and made sense. I think that that's really cool. Yeah, I always listen to it back a number of times. And for folks that are listening in, obviously tomorrow morning we do have a postmortem. So as you're looking through it, because I know I can count at least 5 of you are going to be up later on tonight going through all of this all over again, just to make sure that you've got all of your I's dotted and T's crossed. Tomorrow morning, it's a much faster move through, but if there's something that you're not catching or that it doesn't make sense, don't beat yourself up about it. Sometimes it takes at least 3 or 4 or 5 times before you can have that muscle memory, put into place where you'll remember it much better.
Yeah, that's true. And what you guys are seeing is I'm just like, I'm doing a little customization here so that everything looks good. And then we can go back and test it. So guys, if you go to my website now, it should have like a social share, or I did not do it right. And I, as Sarah said, fracked up, but we'll see. Have faith. So we're about to do another comment, but this comment, I mean, hopefully is different. Or it's not, and like that's my issue that I gotta fix. Let's see if it's live yet. Is it live? Okay, so I gotta test it somewhere else. Twitter's not a good place to test it. So then there's a place you can test it. You don't even need Twitter. We can test it. Okay. So this is Open Graph XYZ. So you can put your thing here, a little URL, and it can test it. So let's see. So yeah, look, Facebook, Twitter. Look at it. You see it, guys? This is like the real first step on like really making SEO friendly. So if I was to make a post about this, like this is what would pop up on Twitter, on X, on Facebook. And this is how you get those like automatic sort of things. It does take like a few minutes. It's not instant, but it is working. And you can see what it will look like here. By tomorrow, it'll like fully work. I don't think Twitter will see it right away. Not yet.
How long does that usually happen before it starts to pick up on the feeds, etc.? I remember back in the day that we actually had to kind of
it's working
populate
right
those.
now. If you guys head over to Slack, you can see Slack has already picked it up. Check out General in Slack. Look how beautiful this is. Can we just acknowledge the SEO awesomeness that we just did in 5 seconds? Look at that share. I just shared my landing page. In General in Slack. Okay, Larry. I know you're excited. You want to talk to the people? What do you guys think? They don't speak Bark.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Larry.
Do you guys, everyone see in Slack right now? It's so cool. Like you're seeing what we just set up working right now. So to answer your question, Sarah, I don't know, but it seems pretty fast.
I do think that some of the newer platforms, especially that are geared towards collaboration. So Slack, for instance, tends to do things quicker. I mean, and I think it's very fascinating because the old legacy systems still have the old crawlers that take a little bit of time, which is very fascinating to me that Slack picked it up before X did. That's very interesting.
So now that we've got to the next step, we look at this opt-in monster. Look at what it connects to. Literally, ConvertKit. Everything. Literally every single thing. It's so crazy.
One of the things I think would be helpful is, and it's not my suggestion, I'm stealing it. I've had bits and pieces of folks asking kind of the same thing, is a general workflow. Like when they're playing with these kinds of things. Because I know for me personally, I write down all the steps. I do a very much like a David Meir, or Dave Meir has his Notion stocks, where you kind of have your mental checklist. And I think in a lot of ways, that's how I kind of systematically go through these to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. But in terms of a workflow, what you've established here this evening in terms of SEO and how to make sure that that search engine optimization, whatever search engine that you're wanting to make sure they see you, right? You can't have a business unless folks see you, and especially now where it's a global economy, that workflow is really important. So I was thinking about how you would, in your head, in Ross's head, when you were building websites all the time, that was your thing. Um, how is your workflow? In your head, you're thinking, okay, I have to make the site, then I have to code this, then I have to do this, then I have to plug in, payment option, then I have to do this. And you have a very specific way of doing things. If we were to do anything out of order, because this is our 5th week, certain things we couldn't go and progress with until you had certain things in place, those building blocks in place. I'm just curious if that's written out anywhere, first of all, if Alisher has one in the back room somewhere, or B, how you would talk through your workflow instantly, just, for the recording's sake.
Yeah, so it's the flow, it's not really so important. What's important is understanding what you're doing. It's like, Larry, I know you agree. It's like you have to understand what it is that you're actually doing, so that when you make a mistake, you know how to fix it. It doesn't really matter in which way that you go, but what does matter is you understand what you're doing. Where it gets weird is if you don't understand what you're doing, then it becomes a whole problem, which is annoying. But there's no actual workflow, Sarah. I know what you're asking, but there is what we're doing. Like, we have directions of what we're actually doing. But as far as workflow, I mean, you have to find your own workflow. It's like, I forget that song. It's like Go Your Own Way. It's like an 80s song. Just like sing that to yourself right now in your head, because you have to go your own way.
Well, it is. I mean, that's how you're building this, right? I think a lot of times, I know that in the art industry, and I know it bugs me to no end, I'm saying this on a recorded line, where people will come to class and they say, I don't want to learn anything new. I just want to build the exact same sample that you made with my colors. That's it. And, they'll look at the directions, they'll do everything, they'll glue A to B, B to C, da 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 da, and then they leave with an exact replica of what we created for the class, pictures. What's interesting here is that you take your own reins, just like what Ross says. You go your own way, and you kind of muddle through until you figure out what you know and what you don't know. And sometimes you're at the last step and you realize, I have no idea what the flip I'm doing, which I've done a number of times where I thought I had the perfect plugin, and then I looked at it and I thought, what happened? It all went away. And so you kind of think about those things, and you think, well, I'm pushing buttons, I'm being my little velociraptor, and your workflow in general. But to streamline it, once I build a website, I don't know how many I'm ever going to build again. You only need a handful, and I'm not going to be a web designer. But at the same time, I realize in no uncertain terms that I'm going to have to update this at some time, and I'm going to have to retrace those steps. And in the event that the live streams are not available or whatever, are my notes good enough? And I think that's kind of maybe the question that folks are asking. I might be reading into it too much, but you're right. The word flow in general, we're following through what Ross is doing step by step, and hopefully you're keeping good notes. But I think his answer is kind of cool too. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I do think that it is going to depend on what your goals are. True. I mean, if your goal is to build a bunch of websites out, you're going to have a different web flow or workflow than I am, for instance, that's going to, maybe update my store every once in a blue moon, or, add a new blog post or something to that extent. It's a different kind of way of thinking.
Yeah. It's there. So when people learn this, there's no real traditional way to actually learn this properly. So like when you do learn it properly, you have to forge your own workflow, whatever you're doing, whatever that workflow is. And you have to reverse engineer it too. So you got to start from like without the end result. That's the hard part. But it's easy when you have all the tools. I mean, guys, you can literally probably deploy 10 websites in like 20 minutes. WordPress is so crazy. And it's just, people don't understand that you can do this. And then you can like have your own server too and pay, let's say DigitalOcean, like $10 a month, and then charge someone $100 a month hosting. Because the hosting comes with you, comes with support, SSL, reliability, and a cPanel that the customer can go in and do their own stuff with. You're just there to make sure nothing lights on fire. And as Sarah loves to say, make sure people don't die.
That's exactly right. We don't want any people die. Well, the other thing too, and I think maybe this will help. I don't know. Maybe I'm convoluting the question even worse, because, sometimes it's just easier if you come up here and talk yourself, but I will just leave it there. Knowing your why is really important. When you are very strong and you know exactly why you're here, what your purpose is, guess what? It makes saying no to certain things a whole heck of a lot easier. So, for instance, when I was looking through all the plugins, I just scooted past all of the ones that did not fit my purpose. As cool as they are, I wanted to, be a digital hoarder. I want all of the stuff, but at the same time, that's not going to do me any good. And it wastes some of my own precious time, because I still have to read through, figure out what they do. Is it going to work to the way that I think it should work? And sometimes too, you come across something that you really, really think is awesome, and you bend your own kind of why in order to accommodate something that's very cool. And it's almost like you have the square peg and you want to just ram it into the circle hole because it's so cool, but it may not be what you really need. Just because the bathing suit fits doesn't mean you should wear it, right? We can pour ourselves into all sorts of things that we shouldn't probably be wearing in public, right? And that's kind of how I'm seeing this, is that if you are crystal clear about your purpose in building your site, maybe today you're just here because you want to learn a new skill, in which case you're going to push all the buttons and you're going to try to figure out how everything works, because you're learning a new skill. You're trying to understand the platform. You're trying to push all the buttons. And maybe at the end of the day, you have a website, great. You're just trying to understand what it is that you need to have in your business, but that you're going to delegate to somebody else because it's just not your thing. That's perfectly cool. You still have to understand it. You still have to know enough to direct the people that are under you or in charge of that specific facet of your business, right? But it makes it a whole lot easier just to say, no, this is not for me. Just like what Ross said when he was picking colors. He knows beyond a shadow of a doubt, orange is not his thing. He's not even going to entertain it. He's not going to entertain any of the buttons that look like that. It's just, yep, next. That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking of. And when you're thinking of your workflow, if you know exactly what your purpose is, it's really easy to focus on the necessary steps to get you to that end game. And it will be a unique journey for you, because what's acceptable to some people might not be acceptable to another. There are some people here that will be coding or will be writing everything by hand, doing it the hard way, because it brings them great joy to have something that is so, hands-on, made it my way, and they're going to spend the next 72 hours doing it that way. Then there are others in this room that are going to say, this template looks great. All I'm going to do is replace the pictures and I'm going to call it good, because that's what I need right now. That's the headspace that I'm in. And that's perfectly cool too. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it starts with why are you here? And when you can answer that really, really clearly, the rest of it will kind of fall into place. And you have all of your classmates here that can help you hone that messaging and can maybe, suss out what it is that you should be doing. Because sometimes you start building something and realizing, wow, this is not what I really want to do. This is not the product I was thinking about. Or maybe, as you're sparring with your teammates, you realize that, I don't really have a hair on fire thing, that Alex Damsker talks about. These are all parts of the whole big picture and how do you build a business that is successful. And so sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That is part of the game also. So Dan, your hand is up. How may I help you, hon?
Hey, just I have to get dinner on the table soon, but I just want to give a couple of protocols that, since we're talking about workflow, that I think I always like to take like a bird's eye view in the middle of a process, and I go meta. So this is kind of what I've learned in this process. Is number one, if you find yourself repeating the same minuscule tasks again and again and again to make a certain look, then add it to your library in Divi, and that was like this big profound moment where I was like, why am I doing this again? I just add it to the library and then I can create the same thing with the same parameters. The other thing is you already touched on it, Sarah and Ross, is like when you have to kill those darlings and say these ideas don't have unity and cohesion and it's just not helping. I have a file on my computer for like every project, for every program that I call the graveyard. And that's where I have to just like put those ideas so they can still live again, maybe in another another lifetime. But it's just I got the advice from Carly Simon. She was talking about the song "You're So Vain," and that song was written over 10 years by all her notebooks that she would just like take notes in about people. And then finally one night she was at this party. This guy came in with a big orange cravat and she's like, "You're so vain. I bet you think this party's all about you." And then she just kind of started marinating on that and it became the song "You're So Vain." So that's just a couple of, I like to think, protocols. So just what I had to chime in with.
Yeah,
Very,
thank you.
very
And
cool.
also, before you leave, you got two things. One, you better check my super secret link after dinner. And two, thank you for helping people in the community. It's really nice of you. So, but yeah, and you're right about the library thing. Also, it took you kind of long to realize that. Just saying, you could have saved yourself so much drama. But so guys, quick thing. If you go to my website now, look what I did. Look how cool this is. While Sarah was over here yapping, not that yapping is bad, but while she was doing that,
Uh-huh.
I actually built something kind of cool. Check it out. Tell me what I did differently. Who knows? Come take the mic and tell me what's different on my website.
Better be careful, Ross. She may not send you that nice, good deep dish pizza like next time. Like just.
She definitely will.
No, the next
much
basket of stuff is going to be dog toys and dog biscuits for
Ooh.
Larry.
It's gonna
That's
be
what's
for
gonna happen.
Larry.
Yep,
Ooh, that makes me so happy. But
he's going to have the best wubbies too.
honestly, though, Sarah, it's crazy. Like, I'm from New York. That pizza was really, really good. Like, that was different. It was very interesting. I liked it.
Well,
And like,
you
I
need
don't
to be
even.
well fed. I love you guys very much. What you're doing for people is important. And so, yes, but I'm still not seeing the update. So I don't
So,
know
what you want to do is
what.
take the URL and just put it in an incognito. So, the problem when you're becoming a developer, guys, is you're going to have to be like cache warriors. You got to kill the cache every time. Because your browser is going to remember certain things that may or may not exist actually. So
Yeah, but then there's
yeah.
some of us that actually depend heavily on those caches to remember
Yeah, right.
all the
I know.
random stuff that we have. I mean, I can only
Uh-huh.
bookmark so many pages. So
You don't need to.
yes, we do.
You just could you could open incognito. That will stop the cache. So you can keep your current cache, or My favorite is switch browsers. So like switch from Chrome to Safari or something like that. That will
I
also
can do that. I can switch browsers. I'll work on that.
you don't have to
Kathleen
clear
does
your
have a
cache.
question
It's
though,
just the
Ross.
cache is the culprit. So you got when you're making your website, remember if your change doesn't work, don't bug test yet. Ask a friend to go on your website.
This is why we have the Slack channel for folks. Hey, by the way, can you check this? It's the same as seeing if you have toilet paper on your shoe or that your skirt is stuck in your nylons or something as you're walking through the restaurant. Kathleen has a question for you, Ross. Go ahead, Kathleen.
I didn't have a question. I just came inside from working on my website. It's finally working. You'll all be happy to know. I really wanted to thank Dan. I think we think in the same weird way, and it's like my problems are just like clear to him like that. And he just gets it and tells me a couple little things, and then I'm racing again for a couple of days, and then I screw something else up. But everything you guys were just talking about. So switching themes, it's like all the stuff you uploaded to your media library disappears, and then all the pages. And is there a way to back this stuff up like individually? So if that happens again, 'cause I've lost much. I think I'm on full now, so I don't want to screw it up. How do I save it? Other than saving. Uh, The other thing Dan taught me is to put the check mark by stuff. And I don't know what happened, but I've been stuck on the same bad page for like 6 weeks that I couldn't edit at all. No matter how many beautiful pages I did, it always went to this bad page I couldn't change. And it's gone. So I'm celebrating. But yeah, so what about backups? Like of all this stuff?
So you guys are allowed to maintain an active one backup. So what you want to do is if you have a backup and you like your site now, go delete that backup and make a new one. That's it.
Okay, what if right now it says there's 4 backups on there?
Yeah, that means you hit your limits. You gotta start deleting. You
So
gotta.
delete.
So take it from Frozen and sing to yourself, "Let it go." Get rid of backup.
Oh, I just played that on the piano the other day. That's funny. Okay, bye. Thank you.
See, now this is the hard part, Ross, because when you start killing off your darlings, there's certain things that you just have to hold on to. There's a reason we have so many tabs. And I know this is a 1-800-JUSTIFY call,
Yeah,
and I
well,
already
that's
know
you.
that you're going to
But
say this
listen,
is a me
no,
problem.
if
But
that's you, it is a you problem. I mean, that's. I mean, we already know this. But if you're like Nick and you're like a digital hoarder, then
yes,
you
thank you,
could.
Nick. I love you.
Yeah, you can tell them why they shouldn't be a digital hoarder with their backup. Tell them.
We've lived longer, Ross. We have way more memories to store, and there's
And this is the thing he doesn't understand because he has so much faith in technology. He doesn't understand that it can just go away like that, and then you're screwed. I understand you, Kathleen. Kathleen, you and I are simpatico, and Nick
for
is
sure.
too also on our team. But it is true.
The other thing I wanted to add, though, so I can go back outside, the thing about the browser, that was a key issue, going back to Safari for a while. And then a few days later, Chrome would work for some reason. And Dan helped me discover that as well.
It is.
So
You just
hot
pick
tip.
and choose your browser for the task. And I don't know how come that works, but I do the same thing. There are certain things that Chrome, it decides it doesn't want to, play nice in the sandbox. And especially if you're working on a Mac. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's any given day. So do you think it's part of their AI stuff trying to stop us from having a good time? I kind of wonder about that.
The sabotage though, people don't realize this, and this is my tinfoil hat. I am putting it on. There are certain times if you log in with a Mac and let's say you want to order tickets to, airplane tickets or whatever, they'll charge you more if you're on a Mac as opposed to any other laptop. And I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are some platforms that will penalize you for being on a Mac. I can't prove it, but it definitely once upon a time, and I know people in the audience don't understand this, but once upon a time, if you wanted to be in licensing design, if you wanted to be in the creative industry and all music, film, any kind of art, Mac was the place to go, and it was just that way. The barrier to entry was super high. The publishing platforms that you had to purchase, even Adobe back in the day, most people could never use Adobe because it was so expensive. And it was a barrier to entry that was established, so a lot of people just couldn't play in the playground. And so now you've got all of these pole positions and all of these companies trying to deal with how to silo off their things. It's no different than GoDaddy. You might have a trouble getting your DNS to log out or link on to something outside of their ecosystem. They're not going to make anything easy for you. And X does the same. So anytime you want to have a live stream and you want to use something other than what they like you to play with, then you're going to have to kind of circumnavigate it. But that's part of the fun too, is secretly finding a secret workaround. And thankfully we have a lot of really awesome people here that like to play and like to share their stuff. So Dan, you're awesome. I think the world of you. And Kathleen, I am so glad that you're a part of my Pocket family, more than you'll ever know. You're just a treasure of a human. So I hope you go back outside and have some fun.
CS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CDs that you can have if you like. And I have the barcodes. Oh my God, so expensive.
But they will never know this. They will never know what you just said. They will never know. But I do, and I appreciate it. I heard you and I see you, Kathleen.
That's hilarious. But this is Nick speaking. So one thing I do is I just have a 100-page Google Doc, and all the cool, GitHub projects, any websites, any links, any documentation, you just store them all there. And then you could just use AI to train it. And then you can just have a companion that pretty much understands all your workflows and all the, different Supabase, WordPress, any website, any framework, any library. It's going to be really hard to manage it all on just, memory. So that's one advice.
What, your loved ones didn't put the folder of shame in one corner on your computer, and this is how you actually save stuff, Mom? You need both of those folders to truly level up and be a level 50, wizard like I am,
We need a volunteer to do a Zoom class once a week for dummies that you could lead all of us through all these little things that, are missing from our mental toolboxes. That would be awesome.
It's
that
true.
right there is incriminating evidence. But yeah, we do need one of those.
Hi, Nick. Hey, Morgan. How are you? But yeah, you're all learning about how to be a developer. And the important thing is establishing good habits so you can be the best developer you can be. So you could, imagine every single day, all the different tools, all the different links. You can rely on bookmarking, but to me, I prefer have it all on just a Google Doc, because then I could also add some notes. So if there was a special command that I had to run, like for example, using Docker, or anything like that, maybe I talked with AI, and it gave me a whole chat that I might save it for later on, so I don't have to rehab that conversation.
Well, it's about building a second brain, really. And I think a lot of times when you're working through classes like this, like right now we're watching a live stream, Ross dinking around in the background, I use a method kind of called Zettelkasten, but it's, and you use little pieces of paper and things like that. But the digital version would be Obsidian. And it's a very, very powerful tool in terms of capturing data quickly and being able to retrieve it.
Obsidian is. You would probably really like that. Honestly.
Obsidian is really one of the coolest things that I have. And, when I tell you I take notes during these classes and I have my regular binders, those are so I can access information quickly to help other people. But as a writer and as a creative especially, right now I'm simultaneously working on 15 different books for different people. And so you kind of have to compartmentalize different things for different people, whether it's a screenplay, whether it's a, a novella, or, some of the other articles that you're doing. You have to understand how to document things. And that's why, when I talk about My AI Tutor and Beam is so important, it's because it streamlines something so quickly. And if you have something like an Obsidian, and it's here also on Twitter. The guy who runs it is just really, really cool. But you can kind of capture those ideas and those thoughts and those like websites and those random things, and you can have them at your fingertips. And then you can use the various AI models that we have in My AI Tutor, etc., to kind of pull that data out when you need it and have it at your fingertips. Because right now, if you don't know what that information is, or if you can't access those notes, you're kind of screwed. It's like you can't really find it. There are some people in this room that are neurodivergent, and they compartmentalize information and consume it in a completely different way. If something gets lost in this house, for instance, or someone's looking for a book, I have a very extensive library. I will tell them, oh, it's between a red book and a blue book, and it's 5 shelves down, and blah blah blah. I don't know anything else that's near it, but I can tell you exactly where it is mentally, visually. It's kind of a weird pattern thing. People learn things like that. And that's how you're going to remember things that are on your website, is that you're going through the motions. You're learning that muscle memory. You're saying, okay, this is how I open up my WordPress. This is how I open up my, cPanel. This is how I'm doing this. And it becomes, by rote, which is really important too. So I don't know, but I definitely think that would be helpful, Kathleen. You and I are in the same boat, but I will tell you, leaning heavily into my AI second brain is very helpful. So at any rate, are you done dinking around in the background here, Ross?
Never. But
Absolutely. Well, can you explain what you've been doing?
You can go check it out. I have basically converted this into a full-scale, ready to go landing page. There's no header because, why do you need a header? That's dumb.
Nice comebacks, Hannah.
And I'm updating and publishing our new pop-up and doing like some designs to it. It's just really cool. This thing is just called Pop-Up Maker. It's completely for free, totally awesome, and you can just make your pop-ups.
For folks that may not understand what Ross has been doing this entire night, is he's basically going through every step that we did from tip to toe to kind of go through all of the motions, just like how Alisher introduced, this is what we've done over the past 5 weeks. A lot of these things should be jogging memories in your head. Oh, I remember that. Or that kind of looks familiar. Oh my gosh, that answers the question that I had before. Those are the kinds of little triggers in your head that are going to help you along on your journey. And so if there's anything that's very confusing to you, don't worry about it. We also have like I said, the class tomorrow morning where you can get to the nuts and bolts of something. If it's just not clicking for you this evening, that's no problem. You can get the one-on-one help tomorrow morning. So it's not gonna tie you up too much. Don't get upset with yourself if you're looking at the screen and you're like, I don't know how he could possibly do it that fast. You have to understand he's been doing it for 15 years, right? Those are certain things that just kind of come with the expertise.
Yeah, and also it's this is all stuff I'm using assets like Monarch and Bloom that I already gave you guys, and 2 free ones, and you can go review this, and I'm gonna drop all the links in Slack to everything I'm using. And what I just did basically, if you go to the site right now, aside from like the pop-up that looks kind of like poop, could look better, but go to it, look at the site like as a whole thing, like look how it looks right now at the state. We did this all live, guys. Now I'm just messing around, but I'm testing out different pop-up styles because I hate the pop-up, but it works. And I set out on a goal to
When you get there, it pops up. And you see it once, and then after you see it once, you refresh, and it leaves you alone. It's like, okay, we're not gonna like shove this pop-up down your throat. We're cool. That's the kind of UX you want. You need to make sure that you don't just code a pop-up and it slams your user every second. You want to create milliseconds and use a cookie to hold that pop-up. And this plugin just did it for us. And we had to do nothing. Lazy development is my favorite development. The less you have to do is good because you have to do a lot anyways. But do you guys have any questions? So like where we're at, what we did, how we did it, anything? Oh, and I will just to ignite the flames, I've already chosen 2 people. They just have no idea that they're chosen yet. So I have 8 more to go.
The odds are in your favor if you've posted, by the way. I'll just tell you. You know, you got to be in it to win it, and you must be present to win. So we'll just leave it there. I'm not seeing any other questions from the folks in the listening audience. I know that a lot of folks are actually working on their sites behind the scenes. And here's the other thing. If you are like I am a perfectionist by nature, and it is very unnerving to publish something that's not ready yet, right? You have to kind of get over that. When you're in the class like this, you have to post what you have because, like we said in the beginning, this is a transcript. It's a living transcript. It's a living document of your core competencies. From here on out, the idea of having a transcript from, like, let's say a school, college education, etc., many places that are employing don't really care about your degree. They care about whether or not you can do what you say you can do and that you are able to complete the tasks that they need you to complete. And they don't care how you get there, right? There are many people in this room that have been educated in untraditional ways. We're hacking our education as we speak. But you can't just go and say to somebody in a trustless society here on the digital overlay or in the digital overlay, yeah, I know how to build a website, and then try to build a parachute on the way down. It's much easier to say, yeah, see, here's my platform, or here's my web page, here's my landing page, here's what I was doofing around with in, you name whatever it is that you want to name. And I'll tell you, there are some key phrases, if it's JSON or some of the other websites that we were building in the SaaS group, those key catchphrases are things that are very monetizable right now, if that's a good word. But you have to have proof of concept, proof of competency. And that starts by being open about building in public. And for a lot of us, especially of a certain generation, this is going to be very unnerving because to fail in public or to have a mistake in public can be mortifying. But at the same time, sometimes if you post something on, let's say, GitHub, and someone comes in and says, hey, by the way, this is really cool, but did you know you could do this? Having a GitHub in general, showing how you're helping other people. For instance, Dan helps so many people behind the scenes, constantly helping people and learning new skills himself, because sometimes it's a problem that he's had too, just like what Kathleen had mentioned. But ultimately, this is your documentation. This is your proof of concept. This is what you're showing people. And unless you show them, you're just a bunch of hot air and wind, like you have to have those kinds of little breadcrumbs for people to follow. So I hope that you overcome your fear of not having perfection. Progress is greater than perfection. And in this case too, once you have something that's viable, a minimal viable product, the next step is to come on Saturday and pitch your idea. Even if you're not ready, just go ahead and pitch something. Britta had done that. Starboss, that was the very first time she's ever pitched anything in any space ever. And it garnered her a spot in our business group that everybody's in right now, and that concept. And I think it's really important. You don't know what you don't know until you try. And so I think it's a really amazing opportunity, and I think people are doing some great stuff. So we'll leave it at that. congratulations to the 2 people who have been chosen that don't know that they're chosen, and to the 8 other people that are going to vie for those spots, and think to themselves, I want to be in the running. So you gotta be present to win, right? So
By
anyway,
the way,
Ross, continue.
really quick, it's not just a rinky-dink little prize, and it's not 1 year. It's persistent. It's on our servers. Unless we don't exist, then it goes down. You get what alumni at college get that make it all the way through our program, or you get what anyone who's taken any class with us will get automatically. So if you've taken a class with us and you're sitting in this room and you have actually done a one-on-one class in any capacity, you're immediately with the golden ticket pushed to the finals. You will keep everything. So if we've ever had a one-on-one class together where you like either purchase a course or a class one-on-one where we're building together, your cPanel stays alive indefinitely. But other people will join that squad. 10 of you. Well, 8 of you, actually, probably 7. I think I'm not on the fence anymore on the 3rd. So again, we're not going to look. If you don't share, you're not in the running. If I don't know it, I don't know it. DM me. What's the worst that could happen? What, you win? That's the worst thing? Come on. And it's not even like a cutthroat Hunger Games contest. It's like a do something you're probably going to win contest. Like the odds are really in your favor, guys.
Ultimately, you have to understand too, the folks that have donated these prizes, there is something to be said, especially in this ecosystem where folks will like literally hoard free stuff and then it never gets used. And other people don't have access to those tools. Basically, this is just a question saying, hey, are you actually going to use it? Because when you think about $280 a month, I mean, that's insane to think about, and if it's just sitting there not doing anything, how many, other people in a different situation could have used that and monetized it for any number of reasons for their why, and so, it's not that Ross wants to be mean or anything else, or if he's devaluing the time that you've been here for 5 weeks in a row. That first week we had a whole heck of a lot more people, didn't we? Right? And here we are at the very tail end, kind of dinking through the last little bit. Go ahead.
I expect to finish with probably 30% of people that we started with. That's normal. So if you're still here standing in week 6, that means you should be proud of yourself, no matter if you win or not. It's not about winning or losing.
No, it means you finished, and that's important.
And even if you don't get cPanel, I want to make it very, very, very ultra crystal mirror clear. You get an export with a license key to Divi. Forever activated. You can build 1 site or 400,000 sites. It does not even matter. So no matter what, everyone's going to walk away with digital assets that they can reuse and recycle. The only difference between the people that actually get chosen is your site just remains online. But everyone's going to get their site. No one's going to be deleted. And you will have a 2-week grace period to get your site upon the end of week 6. And we're going to show you how to do all that. And we're going to even show you how to go to DigitalOcean and pay them. And you're going to get $200 of credit while you figure out your stuff and figure out if you want to use DO. I mean, I'm not going to shill them, but they're our partners. I'm going to point you towards them. And I'm going to quote Morgan, it's not a shill if it actually helps you.
Okay.
Fist bump. Very, very true. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Ross, we're coming to the tail end, I think. Is that correct?
We are.
We're going to do
we're
closing notes.
About 5 minutes out. And when we were talking about being on 5 weeks, I wanted to take a moment for everybody in here and just congratulate them, because it is not easy to show up 5 Wednesdays in a row, to be tuned in to everything happening, challenging yourself. And I know we're not quite on the 6th week yet, but I wanted to go ahead and give this to everybody in here. You guys are doing phenomenal. You're proving so many incredible things about innovators as a whole. And this tool that you're learning, this skill that you're learning, that is something to have on the tool belt. If you're building a business, if you're working on your own personal brand, whatever it is, these are skills that you're going to take further. I know there are digital assets you're getting from this, but there's absolutely knowledge that's absolutely invaluable you're getting as well. And we are coming up on the end. We are about 5 minutes from the close. I would welcome any last questions or any notes from anybody. If you guys want to share something, we would welcome it. Of course, ITT 58 is right around the corner. If you have not pitched there, please come and tell us what you're working on. We would love to hear about it. We would love to give feedback, and we would love to help lift you up to even more impact. You guys know where to sign up there. But if we don't have any more questions or any more notes from our great students, our great innovators, and everybody in attendance, I think we can probably sunset this and get close to a close. Sarah or TSI, any last thoughts that you'd like to share before we put a bow on week number 5 and 5 out of 6? Only one more week left, guys. Well done. Ross, I'll go ahead and give it to you for any last thoughts you have, and Sarah as well. I know you gave some last thoughts, and we'll go ahead and end this thing. Let everybody get to sleep at a good time. How about that? Ross, Mike is yours.
I would just say, you guys did really good. What I'm seeing is so cool. I love seeing what you guys are building. Again, like I said in the beginning, it's just proving what I thought was already true, but I need to prove it to myself before I can like say it's true. And you guys are not just like building something cool and getting a bunch of stuff for free. You're also part of something really super interesting that's actually going to be studied and put into research and used in our presentations about impact. And all your little profile pictures will be in the presentation. And it's just, you guys have to understand the way you guys are learning right now. It's like a combination, mixture, alchemy, potion of what you would expect at a college. Not the same way, but the structure, but with the information that you want, but the catering and the almost safe zone environment that you get in school. So like you're getting to play in a digital playground right now, but we're also like public on social media, hundreds of you. There's hundreds on the live stream. And we've made over 80 accounts, which is so crazy. And I think whatever we do next is going to just be double and triple. And from the outside, the companies that are involved are super excited for what you guys are building. And outside of that, and just in general, and Josh, I got a full confirmation, 100%, man, for 7 p.m. on Friday. And everyone here, there's going to be a super cool ITT little segment remix happening, and you guys all should come. And I'll give you like a little bit of like a sneak preview. If you guys are on Twitter, which you all are, you've seen these like crazy talking faces by this new company that's like kind of just come out of stealth mode. And
Hedra?
already you knew about it. We're actually going to talk to the CEO.
Come on now.
His name is Michael. He's going to come, and me and him are going to have a conversation with you guys. Like,
Oh, that's
in
cool.
Spaces,
Nice.
the CEO of Hedra. And not only that, I am so excited for what's coming for Pixio. Guys, just put 2 and 2 together.
Let's go.
I will say nothing. I'm not saying nothing. But if you're smart right now, you can put 2 and 2 together and see that it equals 4. So we're going to talk with Michael tomorrow, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do together. And we're going to talk, not tomorrow, Friday or Saturday. We're going to talk about it live in ITT.
That would be Saturday.
cool.
That would be on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yes,
Saturday.
not
He's going to
Friday.
come. We're going to talk about Hedra, what they're doing, why it matters for you guys, and everyone that has Pixio. There's going to be something really special being built with us and Michael and Hedra. And so I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited.
I'm excited for Pixio.
Yeah,
Like, that's great.
But I'm mostly excited that this is one of the very many things that I have planned for ITT, because yes, it's cool for AI demos with Ross and TSI, great. But what if I can bring like people from big, huge companies, like people you know, like Grok or OpenAI or one of these big companies that I'm partnered with? And I think there's a lot of value, and I think people in ITT can really get an understanding right before we do AI demos with TSI. So you guys are gonna get all hyped up about AI, and then bam, we're doing new demos. And I'm just gonna tell you, if you're gonna miss the next ITT, what are you even doing? Because we are demoing something that is so crazy that there are 2 human beings in the planet that have access to it. That is Cash Money Kev and Dan as of right this moment. And if you want to be part of that, shoot me a DM and I'll explain. But y'all, we can generate lyrics, sound,
I knew it was
music,
music. I knew it.
everything.
If Dan involved, there's
Let's
music.
go.
If Dan's involved,
It's going to be a very, very good ITT. We actually have 2 special guests joining us. We have somebody coming for the very beginning of the ITT for about an hour. I am very excited about that. Unlike Ross, I'm not going to spill all the cookies right now. I'm going to leave that for later. We have an awesome somebody joining us. So it sounds like 2 special guests for this ITT. I will say, Ross, with this whole thing, I know we're on week number 5. One of my favorite folks is Dr. Miles Monroe. He says, no vision is validated till it's tested. And this hasn't just been a test. This has been an impact. This has been a session of connection. This has been so much more than a test. And to that, I take my hat off to each and every one of you who have made each of these sessions. And Sarah, our dear supporter, godmother, teacher, educator, we love you. We really, really appreciate you. And Ross, before you tell them the business plan fully of TSI and you spill all the beans, I'm going to give it to Sarah for closing notes.
Thank you. I
And-
was going to shut him up. Yes.
I'm just kidding. But Sarah, we'll go over to you for last notes, and then look, we'll let everybody have a beautiful evening here. Sarah, Mike is yours.
I just wanted to tell everybody I'm proud of you. Committing to anything is difficult. Showing up when you don't want to show up, when you're tired, maybe sometimes you don't feel well. Maybe there's struggles at home that are just pulling you in every direction. The fact that you're investing in yourself is so important. It's so vital and so necessary. And I just want to tell you, your rest of the world might not recognize it. They may not see your sacrifice, but look to your left and your right. The folks that show up, they see you. I see you. I see you day in and day out, trudging through and doing the daily grinds. And I will tell you, it will pay off. You're learning skills that you absolutely need to have. Absolutely need to have. In the day of AI, in the day of augmented skills, in the day of, co-collaboration with technology. Those that are choosing to spend the time to immerse themselves in the technology are going to have that mechanical advantage, that first mover advantage, fill in the blank. I'm just exceedingly proud of the folks that have showed up here. And also the way that you've treated your fellow humans, that you have treated folks with such kindness and generosity. I hope that is paid back to you tenfold. The way that you extend kindness by helping other people first, help them achieve greatness and reach for the stars, change their stars, as they say. That's really important, especially now when people are feeling so disconnected. Here you are finding out that collaboration really, truly is the new currency. And man, you guys are just so wealthy, so rich. The talent that's in this room, and it's not blowing smoke up your skirt. I've seen the stuff that you've been building, and it is incredible. It's mind-blowingly cool, and it does validate the idea that many people have had. Tech in schools started with a seed of an idea. And those 3 gentlemen thought to themselves, how can we better the universe? How can we use our skills, our talents, our tools, our ideas to be relevant, not to be famous, the 20 seconds of fame, but 20 years of relevance. How do you do that? How do you become a story worth retelling? You affect the lives of other people and you give them the opportunity to do great things. He's not going to do these things for you, but he's going to give you the tools and the ecosystem that you can thrive in. So I just want to say thank you to Josh, Cash Money, Kev, Mateo, and Luke for making this space possible, this digital maker space that we're playing in. Nick, Alisher, Ross, I have such immense gratitude for you and the fact that you're in my pocket family. We joke around, yes, but you truly are changing lives. You're changing lives in just incredible ways that I don't even think we can put a name on it yet. But I hope to see all of you tomorrow morning. It's 11 o'clock, so it's almost cracking noon. So you'll have some time for at least a pot of coffee before then, unless you're Josh and the boys that are in a different time zone, in which case that's a them problem, not an us problem. And so we'll help out there.
Coffee mugs coming shortly. Coffee mugs coming
Coffee
shortly.
mugs are coming shortly, yes. So if anybody has any problems, if something didn't work out, make sure you write it down. I know half of you did not have the purple bubble tonight, so you couldn't even comment and make sly remarks. We have the Slack channel open. If you're not getting what you need done, guess what? You've got 1 week and you can plug away at it. Make sure you're constantly, tagging TSI, tagging Josh, me, Cash Money, Taya, any of us, tag us so that we can see what you're up to, and make sure that folks are seeing your progress, because you know what, you should toot your own horn. You're doing incredible things. So go on to greatness. May all your good dreams catch you. Dan, just have the faith of an open hand. I'm telling you, I know that tomorrow's going to be a rough day for you, friend. And just know that there are a lot of people that just think the world of you. And I hope that everything works out. So I'll just leave it at that. Sending
Sarah,
up good vibes for that. Yes, my friend.
guess
Go
what?
ahead. What?
2 things. Actually, this one's not for you. That was a lie. Josh Hellman, Hedgerows confirmed just now.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
Yeah.
No, you were supposed
Sarah?
to say, Sarah, you have a demo.
No, that's
Yeah,
no,
that's what you're
Sarah, you're
supposed to
next.
say.
Sarah, guess what?
What?
Your
I'm
C-panel's
supposed to say chicken butt, but I didn't.
your C-panel's activated.
What? I'm not even done yet.
No,
But
no.
thank
So
you.
you get to keep it, and that's for
Oh,
all your
that's
hard work. You get to keep
that's
it.
so sweet. I would
Hey.
rather
You
you
could
give that
make-
to
Yeah,
someone
you can make
else.
whatever you want. No, it's yours. You can't. You're not allowed. That's the rules.
some
You're
some
adorable.
things should be
You're-
given just to
you're
Sarah. No Indian giving, no give backs, no none of that.
No
So
regifting? Yes, I
yes,
see how it
yes.
is. Mhm. Well, go ahead. Close us out with our whole peace, love, and elevate, or peace, love, and
The best piece, innovate.
innovate.
But I'll say
I
real
would
quick.
not come
Sarah,
out, but I was going to yell
I
at
wanna
Ross
just point
behind the
out,
scenes.
our community in here, whatever you want to call this, forming over the last year and more of many times a week, many hours. You guys are so kind. You guys have so much respect. You guys are so friendly. It makes it such an honor to come here and be a part of all this, because you just know showing up in this room that you're going to be treated in such a way. And that's just thanks to everybody who's here. I want to thank you guys for making this such a great space for each other. Well done to Sarah, TSI, everybody, who comes up on stage and continues to maintain that standard. I love it. Whoever said ITT and chill, that made me laugh very hard earlier. If we can get some phrases put on, guys, if you have any great phrases,
Yes.
put them in the bottom right-hand corner. We're gonna figure out some cool, shirts and stuff to make. We'll give them out over future ITTs and whatnot.
Oh wait, I had one yesterday. Can I tell you it, Josh?
Yeah, tell me.
So it was like a T-shirt, and it just said "Get it done," but ITT.
We do. We need a
Like,
whole
get
line.
it
We need a whole
done.
ITT clothing
All right, we're
line.
doing it. ITT clothing line coming in hot. We're
Yes.
gonna get that done. That's for sure. All right. Well, folks, thank you for joining us. Another week of building these amazing WordPress sites, from just that first idea you had many weeks back to the impact you're slowly going to see. Folks, be sure to set your reminder for ITT 58. We're going to be rocking and rolling this week. We have great guests. We have great pitches. We got, sounds like, great demos, the whole 9 lined up. In the meantime, have a beautiful rest of the week. Have a great Thursday, a great Friday. If we catch you tomorrow morning for the post-mortem, it'll be a pleasure. If not, just take care. Have a beautiful day, and we will see you on Saturday. And in the meantime, I'll leave you with these 3 words that I personally love: peace, love, and innovate.
You say it so much better, Josh. Thank you.